the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
As the sun sets over western Illinois and into eastern Missouri, the moon may be coming out, the sun may be disappearing behind the horizon, but the temperature only continues to increase, and that only means one thing. That means we have racing tonight in St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome in to round 2 of Season 3 of the OP Racing Throwback Series. Welcome in, everyone. You are watching live on the Turn 3 Racing Network, as my name is Dawson Wise, and I'll be bringing you all the action as we make our first ever trip to World Wide Technology Raceway, better known to those of us in the racing community as Gateway. As we bring you this second race of the season, we're glad you're here, glad you decided to join me on a Thursday night. What a race we have in store for you here this evening, and it's the lead up to a massive weekend over on our super speedway side of iRacing, but I'll get to that throughout the night. But I'm glad you've joined me here for the throwback race. So here we go, round 2. Many of the names you'll see tonight are familiar. Some are very much new to the series. We'll get into all of that when we get into our starting grid here in just a moment. A few names you may recognize from some other nights of the week, and that's all that I will say about that. Again, Gateway tonight, a tricky technical track. It's kind of like Darlington, where both ends of the speedway are not the same. A little bit tighter over in 3 and 4 as compared to turns 1 and 2. A little bit wider. It narrows up down the back straightaway, and a very technical narrow turns 3 and 4 that these drivers will have to contend with tonight. And we are looking forward to watching them attack it, as about a minute and a half remain in our qualifying session tonight. And we get you ready for all the action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you like what you're going to see tonight, number 1, share the link. Tell everybody it's Throwback Night in America. Boy, I love being back saying that. And secondly, go ahead and subscribe to the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll have you all season here for Season 3 of this series, and I look forward to having you back on Thursdays in the future. A fun schedule ahead. Kansas awaits us. COTA awaits us. A couple of other fun stops on the way as well. Las Vegas, our first ever trip to Las Vegas, will be in this season. A lot of fun things ahead as we approach the end, or as we approach this third season of this series. So I did mention it's a big weekend on the Super Speedway side. That is because this weekend is the first ever PGR Esports SummerSlam 499. If you've watched one of my Thursday night broadcasts before, Oftentimes, to end the broadcast, I will say head over to PGR Esports. You'll want to put a bookmark in that this weekend. Go bookmark it now. All 3 streams are up because this weekend, much like the Podium 500, is a massive weekend for what we do on the Super Speedway side of things, and I'll be on the microphone all weekend long, starting on Saturday at 1:45. Again, I'll explain more about that as the night goes on, but starting Saturday afternoon, you don't want to miss a moment of what we've got going on over on that side of things. Timer is about to run out on qualifying. There's about 21 cars that have made the trip and unloaded off the haulers here in Gateway, and we're about to put them all onto the grid for the first time. Again, the starting grid going to come up on the racing surface, and with that, we will get into our starting lineup for tonight in Gateway. On the pole, a time of 32.684 seconds. It'll be Matt Hayden in the 6 machine for Misfit Motorsports. To his outside, it's the champ. He's back trying to defend his crown. He'll try to do so again tonight in Gateway, looking for win number 1. That is the 12 of Christian Strader. On row number 2, it'll be one of our regulars from Monday and Wednesday and Saturday night. It'll be the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. And to his outside, it'll be Rusty Modesty in the 5, making his return to the series this season as well. On row number 3, Anthony Bledsoe makes his OP Racing Throwback Series debut tonight in the 54. And to his outside, last week's winner, a man off to the best start of anyone in the series, Trey Galgan, will start from position number 6. Row 4, I'll see Jordan Anderson in the 10, the number 10 Sears Dodge. I believe he's got the Valvoline colors aboard that race car again tonight. We'll check in on that as the race goes on. And to his outside, it is Adam Roberson making his return to the series as well in the 28. He'll start from position number 8. Last 2 cars in the top 10. Isaiah Dupree is back for Season 3. Was not able to race last week. He is in attendance tonight and rolls off from the 9th position. And to his outside, it'll be Davey Weaver for Weaver Motorsports in position number 10. Starting from 11th, it'll be TJ Spainhour in the 910. To his outside, Michael Wingo making his first start in the Throwback Series. He'll start from position number 12. Row 7, Cody Eldred in the 4. Another good run for him last week. What can he do this week in Gateway? He'll start from 13th. It'll be Brent Elmore that will start from 14th in the 31 machine. Row 8, the boss man makes his first start this season. Familiar Goodwrench colors back aboard the number 3. That is Alex Green. And to his outside, you may notice that name starting in the 16th position. That's because it's the defending OP Racing Premier Series champ. Cody Nagels takes his talents to the Throwback Series tonight and makes his first career start. On row number 9, Chris McCullough in the 03. He'll line up alongside Bo Benham, our Daytona winner from last season. Row 10 will be another regular of Monday and Wednesday, and a league admin, Jimmy Reynolds. And alongside him, it'll be Andrew Schroeder in the 48. Doug Johnson, the final car in tonight's 21-car field. So again, 21 have made the trip, and I'm so glad that you have as well. Cars are rolling. It's time to get racing in Gateway. As you'll see the lap counter tick across, we have 200 laps on tap tonight as we get you prepared for what this season may hold over the next several weeks. So glad you've decided to join me tonight again on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Again, my name is Dawson Wise, and as these guys start to get these engines ready to roar to life, I hope you're as ready as I am. This is going to be a great race. I'm looking forward to how these guys attack this racetrack, and I hope that you are as well. And so here we go, a couple familiar faces rather on the front row. 2 guys very familiar with each other, Matt Hayden and Christian Strader. Rusty Modesty is in that group as well as Trey Galgan. And then a couple new faces here inside the top 5 trying to take away the crown of the guys running up at the front. Anthony Bledsoe, his first career start. Hunter Reynolds, I believe his first career start, as they attempt to take one away, steal one from the regulars. Hayden, Strader, and the field work their way off turn 4 for the first time. It's time to go racing in Gateway. Here we go. The pace car is down, and we await the flagman to wave that green flag and get us started here in Gateway. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in St. Louis. Lap 1 in the books, lap 2 on the board, and it's Matt Hayden and Christian Strader holding serve for now as the field works its way on to lap number 2. You'll see the varying lines already. Rusty Modesty, one of the first to jump to that higher line and try to build some speed and also save some tires. New look aboard the 5 car. We're used to the Kellogg's look aboard that car. Dude Wipes aboard that Chevrolet tonight for Rusty Modesty. A few guys with some new looks aboard their race cars, and Hayden now ventures to that top lane in 3 and 4. He will try to find some grip and find a little bit of tire saving as well. Lap 3 on the board, 198 to go. One car got the wall a little bit further back. I believe that might have been Davey Weaver in the 16, but he gets away from it okay. He does the Bojangles Chevrolet. Down the back straightaway, Matt Hayden, Christian Strader separated by a car length, and about another 3 back to Rusty Modesty, where he's under fire there from Hunter Reynolds in the 26. That battle continues for third. Trey Galgan already +1 and looking for more. Last week's winner wants to go back-to-back. What a start it would be for his season if he could do so. All 4, this battle for third continues to heat up, but the battle for the lead does as well, so we'll go back up front. Matt Hayden, Christian Strader, these two know each other very, very well. Very familiar with one another are these two cars. Strader, the defending champ, Matt Hayden finishing third in the points a season ago. And two guys that found themselves the front of these races a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So Strader will continue to chip away. He continues to run right along the curbs. Hayden running about a lane off the bottom, trying to save a little bit of tire. Modesty about a lane off of him up in that third groove. Couple guys on the move early. Alex Green +4 for the boss man. He's up to 11th right now. Eldred +3. Chris McCullough is +5. And so we'll keep an eye on those guys, those 3, as they work their way through this field. So far, not a lot to speak of in terms of a ton of action, but we'll take you through the field in a moment. Battle for the lead once again intensifies. Strader puts the pressure on the back bumper of the Valvoline Ford Taurus. Car on the wall a little bit further back. Oh, trouble. One car got way out of line. I believe that was TJ Spainauer, but he keeps it straight. He'll be under fire now by Alex Green for the 10th position. The boss man seeking top 10 early. How about the 3? The Goodwrench Chevrolet's up on his horse, and he's inside the top 10. There's Chris McCullough. He's going to try to follow Alex Green on through. Chris McCullough, welcome back to OP Racing, by the way. Been a while since Chris McCullough has graced the racing surface for an OP Racing series, but he's back for Throwback Series Racing here in season number 3. So, and again, I've gotten to see Chris race other places, so Chris, very familiar to me, very familiar to OP Racing as well. We're glad to have him back on the racetrack. Into turn number 1, Hayden now separates himself. It's about 2, 3, 4 car lengths now back to Strader. Modesty, Reynolds, and Galgan. This is a fun battle right here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then the battle for 6th is on. One car in the wall. I believe that might have been Adam Roberson, the 28 machine. A Ford Fusion aboard that car tonight. Break Room Coffee, the sponsor. A new look for him as well. We saw him last season early. Cody Eldred +4, Alex Green +5, Chris McCullough about to be +7 if he makes the pass on Alex Green. This is a fun battle. McCullough to 10th, Green to 11th, but they stay side by side onto the banking. McCullough goes on by. He's up to P10, slides across the bumper. A little bit of a big moment there, but everybody keeps it all straight and okay. And now the battle will be between McCullough and Spainauer for the 10th position. Eldred is up to 9th. Checking in a little bit further back, there's where you'll find the defending Monday Series champion, Cody Nagels, the familiar Friend Real Estate colors aboard the number 6. Also sporting Martin Sports in the back end of that car. He'll go after Alex Green. That'll be for position number 12. He'll go topside. Green cuts the nose off, and the battle continues here into 1. Nagels trying to figure out this racetrack. Again, his first start in these cars in this series, so good to see Cody in the field tonight as well, and he's on the move early, +3. Hayden, Strader still your top 2, but Modesty, Galgan, and Reynolds have kind of started to run these guys down as the run has gotten deeper. Lap 9 complete at the line. Lap 10 will go on the board. 191 laps remain in tonight's event. As Hayden, Strader continue to be right about a car length apart, more or less. You see them roll down this long back straightaway and towards turn 3. We're going to have a 5-car battle for the lead here momentarily. Modesty, Galgan, Reynolds are on the move. They are rolling here towards our 2 leaders, and it's a familiar tale for Hayden, Strader, and Modesty, and Galgan, for that matter, who all just cannot seem to get away from each other in this series. Off turn number 4, down the front stretch. Strader keeps taking a look. That top line so far has worked well enough for Hayden to maintain the lead. But Strader is making sure he's going to have to work for it. Modesty is as high as I've seen anybody so far on the racing surface, about halfway up towards the outside wall. Bit of a slip from Hayden. Strader took a look. Galgan going to take a look on Modesty. That is for position number 3, but he will slip back in line. Battle for 6th further back. Jordan Anderson and Isaiah Dupree. Look at how far up the racetrack Strader gets right here on lap 11, Hayden gets, and it allows Strader to his inside, and now a slip out of the 6, and now a battle for the lead drag race down the front stretch. Gives Strader lap 12, and the champ goes to the lead in the 29 machine. The Good Wrench colors aboard his machine as well. We'll see. Fast brake colors aboard that car. The Reese's fast brake colors. Very sleek paint scheme. The Monte Carlo aboard the 29 this season. You get a number switch. So again, he's number 12 on your timing and scoring. He's number 29 on the race car. And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some fun here at the front of the field because this has become a 5-car battle for the lead. Strader by 2 car lengths. Trey Galgan is the man on the move right now. +3, started 6th, he's 3rd. Down to 1 and 2, Hayden still trusting that top lane, trying to get his momentum back, but now Trey Galgan puts some pressure on him as Strader starts to drive away. He's not able to get away a ton, but he's able to get away a little bit. He's able to get away by about 2.5 car lengths here as the field works its way off of turn number 4. Once again, clean and green. First 13 laps will be in the books. And all is the same as it was last week. Again, last week, 100 laps at Daytona, no cautions. It came down to pit strategy, a very odd finish with 4 cars really in contention. And ultimately, Trey Galgan came away with the victory last week in Daytona. So, a fun battle last week. Imagine this race is starting to pan out the same. As Strader maintains about a 2-car length lead here on Matt Hayden, who's still under fire from Trey Galgan. Rusty Modesty, Hunter Reynolds watch on, and Isaiah Dupree has started to kind of reel these guys in as well. He's starting to pick up some time. He's gotten back around Jordan Anderson, and he starts to reel in the leaders. Christopher McCullough up to P10. He's still hanging at +7 right now. Next car he will see will be Cody Eldred, who's also on the move. Cody Nagel's +5. Bo Benham is +4. Those 4 cars are your biggest movers right now on lap 15. Christian Strader, boy, he started to put it to these boys already. He's pulled away by now 5 car lengths. Battles on for second behind him. Trey Galgan, they'll go momentarily 3 wide. They'll be clear by the time they get to this tough turn 1 entry. And Trey Galgan, he's going to try to get the spot. Hayden tries to battle back on the outside. Tough racing here. How close will they get? Hayden drives it hard off the corner. Drag race down the back. Headed for 3. Galgan on the door number of the Valvoline Taurus. He'll drive into the corner deep. Can he get the spot? Halfway through the corner, he's going to slide up towards the nose. Matt Hayden says no, sir. Gets right back to the right side door of the 49 car. So nice battle for second. Rusty Modesty watches on, waits for one of these guys to make a mistake. As Hayden and Galgan continue to battle out a lap car. That is Michael Wingo. He's making things a little bit tough on Modesty. He's actually about to make things tough on these 2 cars as well. Galgan will slide across the nose. Trey Galgan to second. Modesty, Reynolds run nose to tail 4th and 5th behind this battle. Hayden and Modesty have been the 2 I've seen most devoted to that top lane so far. They've very much been committed to it. Christian Strader has kind of moved up there a little bit, but now he's up by over a second on the remainder of the field. This battle ends. Galgan will now try to start running down the 12 machine, or excuse me, the 29 machine. Modesty, Reynolds, closest battle on the racetrack, but how long will that be for? Dupree is kind of starting to, again, reel these guys in just a little bit. And everybody else is kind of plateaued out. It continues to be Christian Strader. The battle actually may be back here for 9th as Chris McCullough. He's still on the charge on lap 19. On offense goes the 0-3. The Valvoline colors aboard his machine as well. And then Cody Nagels rides right now in the 11th spot as he tries to run down these 2 cars in front of him. McCullough to the back bumper of Eldred. Chris McCullough looks awfully sporty in the early portion of this race. We wait and see. Is he burning his stuff up perhaps? Is he running a little bit harder than the guys in front of him? Or Does he just have a little bit more speed and race trim? We'll await the answer to that question as the night goes on. Already almost 20 laps on the board. This one's going to go by awfully quickly. Gateway about a mile in length. We're going to keep it right here for a moment. No battle up front right now. Modesty Reynolds might become a battle in a moment, but here we go. Side by side for the 9th position. Chris McCullough and Cody Eldred. Eldred up the speedway. Now tries to drive off, get that exit speed, and get back even with the 0-3. Will he do so into 3? Might give it up here. No, going to drive it in deep. Now backs off into the middle of the corner. McCullough tries to slide up. Can he get across the nose of the 4 and focus forward? Oh, it's close. It's close. Can he slide up? Eldred going to back out of the gas. McCullough on by. Chris McCullough goes to position number 9. +8, biggest mover on the speedway is the 0-3. Again, not a lot in terms of battles further back. TJ Spainhour, Bo Benham go at it. Davey Weaver in this battle as well for 13th. Bo Benham on by the 9-1-0. Davey Weaver going to take it a lane lower. The first look at 3 wide tonight, but it evens back out to 2 wide. Weaver deep into turn number 3. The deepest we've seen anybody drive it in tonight. He'll pass back by Bo Benham. He'll look for 2 for 1. He tries to get Spainhour as well. Davey Weaver showing some speed in the latter portions of this first run. He'll tuck in 14th position. Well, Christian Strader has turned this into a bit of a clinic, much as he did at Homestead to win the championship a season ago. And so far, he has been the man to beat. He's led since lap 12, and he has not looked back yet. Trey Galgan trying to run him down, but now losing more time again. It's up to close to 2.5 seconds. The battle is back here for 4th position. Modesty has it. Reynolds wants it. Hunter Reynolds is trying to make the pass here for 4th, again on Rusty Modesty, so see if he can complete this pass. Adam Roberson starting to close in on Jordan Anderson. That'll be for the 7th position, and Chris McCullough starting to close in on both of them as he tries to make his presence felt towards the front of the field. Reynolds took a look, now dives out of line again, will tuck in for a second, and does decide to be content, running behind Modesty. If you'll notice, Reynolds appears to really be backing off the corner a lot more than the 5 car is. He kind of is compensating for what he's not getting on entry on exit. It's kind of interesting to see the dueling strategies. You see Reynolds now drives in a little bit deeper that time into 3 and 4 than Modesty does, and he'll pull alongside, maybe an opening here for the 26 of Reynolds. Modesty outside, Reynolds inside. Does he have any kind of momentum down the straightaway? He does, and now they're side by side for 4. Hunter Reynolds to the inside of Modesty. The multi-groove racing already becoming a factor. Matt Aiden's up by the safer barrier. Reynolds is down on the curbing. Modesty is kind of between both of them, and so too is Strader and Galgan. So very interesting to see the multiple lines here that are being run. Look at how deep the 26 drives it into the corner. And as such, Modesty going to compensate. He's going to get the exit speed back, and Reynolds slide across his nose. This is going to be the opportunity right here. He will grab the spot. Hunter Reynolds to 4th. That's a great battle right there. That was a really good battle to watch. Back to the man on the move, Chris McCullough. 9th, wants 8th, and may very well get it here on lap number 26. But Eldred has not let him get away. Cody Eldred is maintained with these 2 cars in front of him, and Cody Nagels looms not far behind these cars as well. Turns 3 and 4. Now you see again the difference of lines. The leaders, for the most part, other than Hunter Reynolds, are running up the racetrack. Ooh, Roberson got very loose. McCullough going to take advantage. Can he pounce? To the inside. Chris McCullough wants position number 8. Drives it very deep now. Very smart. Gives it up. Realizes he's not going to have enough momentum to make the pass, and now backs out of it and waits for another opportunity. Roberson very loose again. This might be the opportunity for McCullough. He'll get to the outside of Roberson this time here into 3 and 4. And let's see if he can get the spot. Chris McCullough, he is on a mission early in the race here at Gateway. Can he drive it off the corner and switch back here, crossover? He'll go for the left rear quarter panel. Wow, what a move by McCullough. That was really well driven. McCullough dead even. Give him the spot at the line. He may get it here into 1. Roberson going to fight him for it, drive him down to the curb. McCullough going to use up the racetrack and backs out of it again. Roberson able to fend off that challenge from McCullough. And Eldred now drawn back into the battle. Into 3, Strader continues to lead. It's 1.7 seconds over Trey Galgan. And from there, the field has very much separated itself. Hunter Reynolds, Rusty Modesty may have a battle in a moment. We'll go up there. Or excuse me, Hunter Reynolds and Matt Hayden may be battling here in a moment. Reynolds going to look to the entry of turn number 3 on Matt Hayden. This is for 3rd. And Reynolds gets it easily, drives on by, and now he's back to where he started, position number 3. Back to where we just were. Chris McCullough and Adam Roberson. McCullough trying to set up another run here on Roberson. Roberson's very loose, and McCullough, he's tried a few times, and I wonder how long the patience lasts. So far, content to continue to be patient. But how long does this last? Because he's very fast. He's running very competitive lap times. In fact, one of the fastest cars on the speedway last time around. Reynolds was actually fastest, second fastest, but as I say that, Roberson is going to concede. So too is Hunter Reynolds. So too is Matt Hayden. And pit stops are underway for the first time here tonight in Gateway. Reynolds, Hayden, Modesty, Roberson, the first 4 to hit the pit lane on lap number 30. And that's any indication we are going to have a lot of green flag pit stops tonight. Reynolds, Hayden, Modesty, Roberson, Spainhour hit pit road. And now here come the leaders. Christian Strader. Oh, keep that on the access road. Strader will make it to pit road. Let's see how aggressive he drives the entry. The answer, very aggressive. Galgan went a step further and closed up that gap. Isaiah Dupree pits here as well. Does anybody stay on the racetrack? Yes, they do. It's Chris McCullough. And for the first time, Chris McCullough leads a lap in the OP Racing Throwback Series. So the 0-3, the only one to stay on the racetrack. Strader, Galgan, Dupree, Anderson, Eldred, Nagels, Elmore on pit road. This time around, Benham will join them. And pit strategy begins at Gateway. Alex Green going to stay on the speedway. And we'll see where everybody now cycles out. McCullough will bring his machine to pit road here on lap 32. And we'll see where everybody cycles out. Strader off pit road. And you're looking for Hunter Reynolds. Did the undercut work? It's going to be awfully close. I believe it did. Strader off pit road. We're going to have a battle for the lead right off rip here, at least for provisional lead. McCullough on pit road. And Strader will maintain the lead. Great pit stop by the 29 group, but the undercut works for Reynolds, who overtakes second from Trey Galgan. And the undercut strategy works out for him. Alex Green will maintain the lead for a moment. Let's see if he comes to pit road here on lap 33 to round out our first cycle of green flag pit stops. And it appears he will signal for the access road, and down he comes to pit road as well. So the first stint of green flag pit stops is over. Andrew Schroeder as well on pit road. And now it gets fun. Lap traffic for the leaders. Davey Weaver, the first car, and look at this. Strader's been caught. Reynolds now has his feet underneath him, and it's a car length between the two leaders. Off turn 4. Double file in front of him. Couple cars. That's Anthony Bledsoe. And the other car, I believe, was the 001 of Michael Wingo. And they're going to provide a bit of an obstacle here for the race leaders. Reynolds a half a lane higher. Easy work for Strader past Wingo. Reynolds will catch him in a bad spot in the exit of the corner. Almost an even worse spot for Galgan, who as well remains inside this battle. Lap 34 on the board. It's 166 to go when Christian Strader crosses back by the start-finish line. But he's got some company. Welcome to the party, Hunter Reynolds and Trey Galgan. Strader has got his hands full now. Matt Hayden, he's just watching this. He's hoping now that these guys focus on each other because he's only 2 seconds back. Strader kind of even keel now, able to pull away a little bit and take some of the pressure off of him. And Strader for now fends off the early cycle challenge from Trey Galgan and Hunter Reynolds and will for now remain the race leader. here in Gateway. Lap 36 on the board. And now I want to take a second, recognize everyone that's in the chat. Cody Nagels on track and in the chat. That is a good point. Cody Nagels at his home track tonight in Gateway. Running 11th right now on the Speedway. Got some some money on me to win from the booth. Just as Cody said he did, I bought the track today as well, so no money on me. Christian Strader would take me to school tonight, as he's been taking the field to school here for the last 37 laps. So I don't have any money on. I don't have any money on me. Terry Spainhour in the field and in the chat anyway. Billy Cooper in the chat as well. Root for TJ Spainhour, excuse me, currently runs 13th. Bubba Winningham in the chat. Bubba, good to see you, brother. Good to see you out here on a Thursday. Glad that you are tuned in for this edition of Throwback Racing. Peter, I'll tell you this much. I don't know. I'll take some pressure off of Alex by saying that Christian did tell me before the season even started that it was his fault his number wasn't changed yet. So if you want to put blame on anyone, put it on Christian. At least for now. I believe his number's the only one that's inaccurate. I'll have to go back through and look, but it should be only him. Randall Bledsoe in the chat as well. Racing starting next week. We know Anthony Bledsoe is in the field. A father-son duo going to be taken to the track next week. That'll be fun to watch as Anthony Bledsoe. It's not been the debut that I'm sure he wanted. He runs in the 16th position right now. He started 5th in tonight's race, but experienced some early race misfortune and unfortunately has fallen off the lead lap and into the 16th position. Just a long race to go, though. 160 laps to go. Several father-son duos out here tonight. Terry Spainhour rooting for his son TJ. Again, 13th in the 910. We'll take a look at the 910. Again, a teammate to Hunter Carlson, who's not in attendance tonight. One of our championship contenders from last season. Spainhour joins the operation for Carlson. And so far, TJ settling in nicely at Gateway. He's just outside the top 10 as they run on the Speedway right now. But again, I want to thank everybody. Brad Young as well in the chat room for TJ Spainhour. TJ Spainhour's got himself a nice little fan club going on in the YouTube chat right now, so we'll keep an eye on TJ for you all as the race gets towards its conclusion tonight. As Christian Strader, and he's making this a little bit tougher on me to find stuff to talk about because he is currently still up by about a second. Now, Trey Galgan's keeping him within reason here, but Hunter Reynolds has fallen 3 seconds back. Matt Aiden over 4 seconds back. Rusty Modesty, Isaiah Dupree 5 and 6 seconds back, and then Adam Roberson in 7th. Almost 15 seconds behind the leader, Christian Strader. I mean, this is impressive so far from the defending champion. He was very much inspired to win tonight. I know he was talking to me before the race. He was very much inspired to win tonight's race and to put on a good show again to defend his championship. As he looks to go back-to-back. He's got formidable competition this season. It all really starts tonight. It started last week in Daytona, but tonight starts our trips to the more technical racetracks. This battle will be on in a moment for 7th, and this is going to be a fun battle to watch because it's going to be 3 cars deep. Chris McCullough's about put the bumper to the 10-car Jordan Anderson a few times. And again, this comes into play as to how much patience does Chris have with the cars in front of him, because he's been very fast all night long already. I think he's got race-winning speed. He's got to get the track position, though, currently 15 seconds behind the leaders. So as the cautions don't come, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for him to... It's going to be harder and harder for the 03 machine to make his way through the field. So he's going to need to make some moves now. He'll get to the inside of Anderson here on the exit of turn 2. And I was talking about Jordan Anderson, not the Valvoline colors tonight. It's the Menards colors, the bright yellow, aboard the 10 of Jordan Anderson. Well, we're going to go through the field here in just a moment on lap 45, the first of several through the field updates I'd like to do tonight. Keep you updated on where everybody is running. Now this race has kind of reached a lull. So Christian Strader, again the defending champ, he leads the way. Trey Galgan, last week's winner, is keeping him currently in check. The only guy with relative pace compared to the leader right now. He runs in second, and it's Hunter Reynolds in the third position. Again, kind of holding steady, right about 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. Matt Hayden runs fourth. Great run for the Valvoline machine again. Mr. Consistency himself, Matt Hayden runs in fourth, and it's Rusty Modesty in the fifth position. Welcome back to the series, Rusty. I know he ran last season quite a bit. And he's got speed again so far tonight. He runs in sixth. Welcome back again, Isaiah Dupree, as he runs in the sixth position. And now here's the battle for seventh, so we'll keep it here for a moment before we keep going through the field. Roberson, McCullough, they found each other again. McCullough wants this spot really bad because, again, I think he's got race-winning speed if he can get some clean racetrack. Big wiggle from Roberson. Can McCullough maintain the quarter panel? He's trying. How deep is he driving into one? Very. Down to the curbs. McCullough slides it in the middle and has to back out. Can he get a run off the corner again? Roberson high. McCullough back to the inside. He'll concede for now. So Roberson runs seventh and McCullough is eighth. Jordan Anderson runs ninth, and Cody Eldred is the final driver in the top 10. Then you'll find Cody Nagels. Brent Elmore, currently, that's not Brent Elmore. Brent Elmore running in the 12th position. Bo Benham in 13th. TJ Spainhour, there he is. The 910 again. He runs in 14th position right now. Still on the lead lap. Actually may have just gotten lapped by the leader, Christian Strader, and yes, he is the first car now a lap down. Anthony Bledsoe, he runs 15th, also 1 lap down. Same with Davey Weaver in the 16th position. Alex Green falls a lap down. He's in 17th. Andrew Schroeder is a lap down in the 18th position. Good to see Andrew out here for a start as well. The New York Jets colors aboard his machine tonight. And hold that thought on our through the field, because the caution flag has flown for the first time, and I believe it is for Michael Wingo. Let's take a look back here. He was running pretty much right in front of Hunter Reynolds. Oh, I think it's going to be in front of him, and oh no, I think it's TJ Spainhour. We'll see here in a moment, but Wingo was the one I saw get out of shape. Let's see what we can see here off of turn number 2. Oh no. Nope, Spainhour, my apologies, was not involved in this. He was in the wall in front of Wingo, but Wingo sends it for a spin here off turn number 2 and slides it to a stop. He locks it down and keeps it off the racing surface and draws the caution flag on lap number 50. Right at the quarter point of this race. Not much to analyze here. This is a solo spin. And this is kind of what I mean. This track is very technical. It's very much a tricky one to get. It's much like Darlington. Darlington's very tough to get underneath you, and one minor mistake can do exactly this, especially with it being flat. These cars are a lot harder to drive with no banking. And Wingo, unfortunately, the rear tires start to spin. The back end kicks out from underneath him, and by then, he's along for the ride. He has to lock it down and keep it out of the wall, which he does. No damage incurred, just a spin, and he's going to continue on. So no harm, no foul, and the caution flag is out. For the first time in the field is on pit road. We'll await the leaders. Imagine everyone would take 4 tires here under our first caution flag of the night. Nobody going to risk strategy yet. Galgan, good stop from him. Good stop from Strader. Race off pit road. Strader by a nose. I don't know why I got that blurry. But Strader by a nose maintains the lead over Galgan, Reynolds, Hayden, Modesty, Dupree, and McCullough. So Chris McCullough gains 2 spots on pit road. He's up to 7th, and that is the caution flag that he needed. Couple big movers on that round of pit stops. Chris McCullough, +2. TJ Spainhour gained himself a few spots as well. He was 14th a moment ago. He might be coming back to pit road here, though. But he did get the lap back. TJ Spainhour back on the lead lap again. The Lucky Dog returns here in Season 3. We did not have it for the first 2 seasons. The Lucky Dog, double file restarts, as well as green, white checkers are all in play tonight here in Season number 3. And TJ Spainhour is going to take advantage of that first Lucky Dog. And I believe he's fixing some damage aboard the 910, so he's back on the lead lap, but fixing some damage. Uh-oh. Penalty. Christian Strader, the leader. A pit road penalty for the 29. And it is one of the only blemishes on the record of Christian Strader the last 2 seasons. Is pit road mistakes, and it bites him tonight in Gateway on our first caution flag of the night. Christian Strader has some work to do with 150 laps to go as he incurs a pit road penalty a quarter of the way into tonight's race. So that opens things up. Trey Galgan is now your race leader with Reynolds, Hayden, Modesty, and Dupree the top 5. McCullough is 6th, and that's the guy to watch right now. Chris McCullough in the 03 is by far the man to watch. He's been one of the fastest cars consistently on the racetrack all night. He did not have the track position to contend for the lead. Now P6 and a restart coming up. Absolutely, he will be a car to watch out for on this upcoming start. And again, double file restarts are back. Again, last season, single file restarts in this series, but this season we are back to doing double file starts. So Trey Galgan and Hunter Reynolds will line up double file along the first row. And we will start it just like we started the race. Lights are out atop the iRacing.com pace truck. We're getting ready to go back green with 147 laps to go. So all eyes on the 29 of Strader and the 03 of McCullough here. What can they do on the restart? McCullough finally has some track position, and Strader is stuck now in traffic after a pit road penalty. Here we go. 54 laps will be on the board when Trey Galgan brings the field into the restart zone. And we're going to get things started once again here from Gateway. First caution done and over with. Here we go. 147 laps remain tonight in the Throwback Series. Galgan and Reynolds into the restart zone. And they await the green flag. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing once again in Gateway. Strader already 3 wide. Christian Strader. He's going to look to the bottom of some cars back there, and you'll keep an eye on him. Great start for Galgan. He's off and running 4 car lengths ahead of Hunter Reynolds. Onto the back straightaway. Now the battle is behind the leader Trey Galgan. Matt Hayden through to 3rd. Chris McCullough through to 5th. He looks for 4th. Chris McCullough's on his horse. Plus 12 on the race, about to be plus 13. Chris McCullough to position number 4 and charging here on lap 54. Caution flag, though, is going to come back out on the speedway. And trying to figure out where this one is. It's back here around Alex Green. And let's see if we can take a look here. Let's back this up. And trouble getting into turn 3. Alex Green in the 18th position, a lap down. And he goes to get on the brakes. So the back end kick out a little bit, and he's unfortunately going to get in the back of, well, a checkup actually in front of him a little bit. It started up really in front. Wow, look at that line of cars on the bottom. So, yeah, a couple cars check up, and unfortunately Alex Green into the back of the 910 of TJ Spainhour. He gets sideways. But much like the first incident, no real damage incurred, and really neither car is going to be very much harmed by this incident. Get another look at it here. You kind of be able to see what I mean. So TJ gets on the brakes right here. Alex is on the brakes. These cars are not easy to stop. And Alex, unfortunately, is going to get into the back end of TJ here in the middle of turns 3 and 4. You see him start to check up in front of him. And as that checkup goes back through the line, it's something we talk about in super speedway racing a lot. As that checkup moves its way back through the line, it just gets worse and worse and worse and more drastic the further back you go in the field. And it's nothing egregious either driver did. No blame really to be had. It's just one of those racing deals, unfortunately. Luckily for both of these cars, they did not get hit by another race car. And they also were able to kind of drive away with not much additional damage to what they both already had. So both cars fared pretty nicely here. Again, we'll watch it one more time here from up above. And you see up ahead, it's really the 54, the 64 of Bledsoe and Benham that kind of check up. They get the curbs there. Strader checks up. And then Spainhour's on the brakes. And again, as it moves back further and further, it just gets more drastic. And Alex Green, not much he can do there. Luckily, for the most part, a harmless spin for TJ Spainhour. He comes to get tires. He'll be right back out on the racetrack after another caution flag. So notably, Cody Nagels, Christian Strader, Andrew Schroeder came to pit road and put on 4 more tires there under that caution, and even more importantly, perhaps put in some more gas, which might become a factor. It's going to be really interesting to see if it actually does. It might just make your pit stop shorter later in the race, where you can maybe get off pit road a little bit quicker than the guys in front of you. Lights will go out this time by Trey Galgan leads. Hunter Reynolds is second. Matt Hayden is third, with Chris McCullough fourth, and Rusty Modesty is fifth. We'll restart with 142 laps to go on lap 59. So Galgan, Reynolds on the front row once again. We'll have another race start coming up on lap 59. A 4-stop strategy from here, most likely. Based on that first run, it'll be about 4 more pit stops for these guys under green. And here we go again. Again, put some eyes back there on Christian Strader, as he will be on the move here on this restart, trying to make up some spots now on a little bit newer tires than the leaders. What can the champ do to get back to the front? Can he get back to the front? He's been the most dominant car of the night. He finds himself in traffic. Can he make it back to the leader? Pace truck will take the dive off pit road. Onto pit road, excuse me. And again, the field is left in the hands of Trey Galgan, the defending winner from last week in Daytona. Into the restart zone once again. Lap 59 on the board. Green flag is back in the air. We are once again racing in St. Louis. Another really good start there for Trey Galgan, as he's able to rocket away to a 3-car length lead by the time they enter the back straightaway. Battle is for third. Hayden versus McCullough. Chris McCullough has been on the move all night and finally has track position, and now looks to capitalize and try to get some more here on Matt Hayden. He draws to the right rear quarter panel, trying to hang on to that right rear bumper, and Hayden's going to give it to him. McCullough alongside, that's for position number 3. Further back, Nagels, Strader on the move. Strader to 12th, Nagels to 11th. Strader may take 11th by the time they get through turns number 1 and 2. And Strader's the man on the move, but a caution flag again. And where's this one at? Oh no, big trouble here in turns 1 and 2. Andrew Bledsoe, Andrew Schroeder, and Alex Green. So they were entering turn number 1. Oh man, big time contact there between Bledsoe and Schroeder. Oh my goodness. Davey Weaver piles in as well. Alex Green up and airborne. This was a big-time incident here on the entry of turn number 1, and you'll see it here as they climb the banking, the little bit of banking that there is. Bledsoe drives it in a little bit deeper than Schroeder and gets up underneath that back bumper, and when you lift that guy's tire off the ground right there, there's nothing he can do. That car spins like a top out of line. Bledsoe goes for a slide as well. Now watch Alex Green. He's on the brakes. He's trying to stop. Hits the 54 and then gets piled into by the 16 of Weaver. All 4 tires off the ground for Alex Green. And big time contact for those cars. You'll watch him dive into turn 1 again. Watch Bledsoe. He's coming on, and runs out of room. Gets in the back end of Schroeder. They both lock it down, but not much they can do. Up towards the wall. Schroeder hits the wall. Big hit there. Bledsoe and Green come together, and then Green is hit by Davey Weaver. And it is our 3rd caution flag in a matter of a few laps. Most everybody is on pit road this time by. The only cars staying out, Hunter Reynolds, Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, and Cody Nagels. So the Monday champ stays on the speedway. As he will continue to run in 4th. And don't look now, most guys that came down pit road took tires. I'll tell you one that didn't, though. And it's the defending champ, Christian Strader. He flips the track position and now runs position number 5. Trey Galgan falls all the way to position number 10. Another big shakeup in track position on that round of pit stops. But Reynolds, Hayden, Modesty, Nagels stay on the speedway for a 2nd straight caution. And we'll run 1, 2, 3, 4 in the upcoming restart. Lights out atop the pace truck, excuse me. Oh, no, they're not out yet. They'll go out next time. We'll go back green on lap 65 with 136 laps remaining, about a third of the way through tonight's affair. The field was already doubled up, so I think the lights did go out right there, but they are back on. Couple of housekeeping notes for you. Doug Johnson called it a night after 17 laps in the 388. And Jimmy Reynolds was unable to make tonight's start. I believe he got on the grid, did not run a lap tonight. He'll be credited with 21st position. He got on the grid, but did not run a lap. Lights will go out this time by, and we'll reset the field again for you. Row 1, Hunter Reynolds, Matt Hayden. Row 2, Rusty Modesty, Cody Nagels. Row 3, Christian Schrader, Isaiah Dupree. Row number 4, Cody Eldred and Adam Roberson. Row 5 will be TJ Spainhour and Trey Galgan. Notably, TJ Spainhour had a bunch of damage on his car. It is fixed. The 910 is once again back to fully repaired. So let's see what he can do here. He gets a restart now inside the top 10. Let's see what he can do on this one. Row 6, Jordan Anderson, Chris McCullough. Row 7, Brent Elmore, Bo Benham. Last 2 cars on the lead lap beyond row 7, or row 8, Davey Weaver and Andrew Schroeder. Here we go. 136 laps to go. Hunter Reynolds has inherited a lead by virtue of pit strategy, and several other cars are banking on the strategy with him. And Christian Strader is back in the race. How aggressive will he be with 136 laps still to go? Reynolds, Matt Hayden. Slowly roll the field into turns 3 and 4. Here we go. Pace car is down. Long front straightaway. It's a lot longer than you'd expect as the field rolls into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Racing again, and down towards turn number 1 they go. It's a good start for Hunter Reynolds. Reynolds away by 3 car lengths. Battle will be for third for the moment. Nagels will fold to Rusty Modesty. He'll concede the spot and hang in fourth. Reynolds away by 2 car lengths down the back straightaway. Schrader is not really on the move. He, in fact, got jumped here by Isaiah Dupree on the restart. He goes to 5th, Schrader to 6th. Galgan already from 10th to 7th here on this restart with lap 65 on the board, 66 on the board next time by. Top 4 have singled out, top 6, top 7, top 8. First battle's for 9th between Jordan Anderson and Cody Eldred. Now Chris McCullough joins the battle as well. And battle's now up in front of these guys. Christian Schrader on Isaiah Dupree. Car on the wall, Jordan Anderson big time. Davey Weaver gets it big time as well. Both those cars going backwards, but we stay green. Schrader to 5th. Galgan drove it in deep, but Dupree's going to race him hard for 6th. Schrader will try to get away. And now starts to attack the back bumper of the Martin Sports Friend Real Estate number 6 of Cody Nagels. Galgan may complete the pass here in 1 and 2. 460 drives it in deep and completes the pass on Dupree. 134 laps to go in Gateway. Galgan past Dupree, rolls it up the speedway. Dupree tries to cross over, no dice. On the backstretch, it'll be Roberson on Dupree for 7th as Schrader and Galgan charge through the field. Christian Schrader now sets up on Cody Nagels. And Nagels, he has the 6 on the side of the car. And very much a hard guy to pass, much like Ryan Newman used to be in that 6 car. He's going to be a tough pass here for Schrader and Galgan. He'll cross down. Look at that drive off. Oh, Schrader gets loose. He's down in the grass. He makes the save, but he loses track position. What a save by Schrader, man. He was kicked all the way out to the left, tried to drive it hard down the hill. It did not work for him. And now Galgan will take advantage. He goes to 4th. Past Cody Nagels, and Schrader will have to regroup. Chris McCullough back on the move. He's 8th. He wants 7th. Not really a battle for the lead yet. Reynolds by 4 car lengths. There might be a battle for 2nd looming as Modesty has started to join this group behind his teammate Matt Hayden. But hold that thought. Caution flag. This one is for Jordan Anderson and Brent Elmore. As they were battling for position back here, it appears they just come together. Oh yeah, big time. Elmore gets loose, comes down across the nose of Anderson. They get together. Anderson goes sliding. Elmore, does he get the wall? Oh, yeah, definitely. He's going to get the inside wall. Man, pretty hard, too. Anderson actually goes out into this little cutout. Does he get the wall? Oh, boy. He got awfully close, didn't he? Wow. Almost hit the Porta-John that's out there, too. It's a bit of a weird place for that. I just noticed that. Completely threw me off when I'm trying to watch this replay. And that's all we'll say about that. Elmore running that higher groove up off the bottom lane. He's about 3 lanes up from the bottom. Anderson on the bottom. And Elmore, you see, he did the same thing as Christian Schrader. It kicked down on him, and Anderson naturally is rolling back towards the wall as he would on corner exit. And unfortunately, gets collected there on Elmore. TJ Spainauer has to dive out of the way. And now watch Anderson keep this thing off the wall. Wow, I have no idea how he kept that car off the wall. Adam Roberson stayed out. It's not going to last for long, though. Or, yeah, he had to have stayed out. Roberson stayed out, leads a lap. Now we'll cede the lead in pit. And don't look now. But as the field cycles around, and will cycle eventually past Adam Roberson, That will transfer control of the lead over to the hometown driver. It's Cody Nagels. He's at his hometown track tonight in Gateway. There's home track, I should say, and he's now leading laps at Gateway, and this has got to be a cool moment for the driver of the 6. As he leads his first laps in the Throwback Series and his first laps here at World Wide Technology Raceway. Chris McCullough is second, Cody Eldred is third, then it's the champ Christian Strader in fourth. Hunter Reynolds is fifth, and Brent Elmore is sixth. Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, Trey Galgan, Isaiah Dupree round out the top 10. They came down pit road. So too did TJ Spainhour, Bo Benham, Jordan Anderson, Davey Weaver, Andrew Schroeder, Adam Roberson, and Alex Green. So Nagels inherits the lead under this now the 4th caution in about really the last 20 laps. We had run the first 60 or so laps with no issue. Now the last 12 have been caution plagued. Let's see if we can get into a bit of a run here and get back to that pace we were running before. So 1 to go this time by lap 74 on the board, lap 73 on the board, lap 74 will go on the board when we take the green flag, and 127 laps will remain tonight from Gateway. We're about 27 laps short of halfway. And Cody Nagels now has an opportunity to lead the race, and when he gets to the lead on Mondays, I know it's a different situation, but it's awfully tough to get him out of that spot. Obviously coming off a championship in the Monday Premier Series, coming off a win last night in the OP Racing Grand National Series. Love to keep his week going with a victory here on a Thursday. Still one away from our regulars. And especially at his home track, would be a special win, I'd imagine, for the driver of the 6 for Nightmare Esports. And these two up front, they may not know each other well in OP. They know each other well in general. Cody Nagels, Chris McCullough, they run together a lot. They're very familiar with one another, and now they restart on the front row together in a much different setting. Down towards the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back racing from Gateway. Nagels a pretty good start. McCullough even with him. The two leaders will race their way down to turn number 1. Nagels versus McCullough. Chris McCullough with a power move. He leads, but the caution flag is out. And it's for Jordan Anderson, who has crashed back here in turn number 1. He was involved in the last caution. He's involved in this one. Oh, man, gets up underneath Bo Benham. Turns the 64 sideways. And he ends up sideways here as well. Not sure. Does Benham come back up? Yep, what goes down must come up at these high bank tracks. Anderson gets collected. Davey Weaver gets collected. Another pretty self-explanatory incident here at Gateway. Right on the start this time, though. So we went down towards turn 1. Bo Benham's going to get on the brakes. Anderson not quite getting the memo in time as he goes to get in line. So actually, it's kind of bad timing as well. He had just gotten in line behind Benham and was trying to focus on his entry, and Benham lifts out a little bit early, and Jordan Anderson unfortunately gets in the back of him, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll actually go on board with him here in a second. I'll show you what I mean. But really just bad timing for the 10 car that he decided to move up the racetrack when he did and get in line. It just kind of all happened really, really quickly. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So you're going to watch off the front end of Jordan Anderson. So watch here. I'll take you through the whole restart cycle here. Let's take the green flag right here. It's going to clear a hole for him, and right as he gets towards entry, he goes up. And now watch how quickly this happens. And again, that happens a lot faster than it may look when you're in the car. And Anderson gets in the back of Benham and sends him for a slide and collects Davey Weaver as well. Caution flag number 5, lap 76 on the board, 125 laps to go. And now we're hinging right about on a 3-stop strategy. We're almost to that number, but nobody comes to pit road, so still going to be 4 stops as of right now. We'll see how much that changes here as we continue to run more caution laps. So we will go back green next time by. The lights will go out atop the pace vehicle, and we'll try this again on lap 78. 123 laps to go from Gateway. Chris McCullough, Cody Nagels, Christian Strader, Cody Eldred, and Hunter Reynolds, your top 5. The rest of the top 10, Hayden, Modesty, Galgan, Dupree, and Spainhour. And this race has kind of slowed down. The pace of this race was very quick. The laps were ticking off quickly, and we had a green flag cycle. We were getting ready to have our second green flag pit cycle when the first caution came out on lap 57, and since then, now 5 cautions over the course of the last 20 laps, and all of a sudden now we are plagued with yellows. The race has slowed down considerably as we try to get closer to the end of this one. And we will line up once again for another restart. It'll be 122 laps to go. And again, the familiar foes line up alongside each other, McCullough and Nagels. And one thing I've noticed here about Cody is he's really not driving it too deep into turn number 1, and that's probably partly not being familiar with the car. May also be saving his stuff as well. I don't want to spite Cody. That's not the goal of what I'm saying, but I am saying it could be that he's not very familiar with this car, with this series as well. It also could be that he's saving his stuff he's saving his equipment for a little bit later in the run. So, and obviously, still with 122 laps to go, you obviously don't want to jeopardize your own race driving too deep into turn 1. So, no harm, no foul, and backing out and maintaining second, third, fourth position here early in this run. These two guys are our biggest movers so far, plus 16 for McCullough, plus 14 for Cody Nagels. Off turn number 4, down the front straightaway and into the restart zone again. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go towards turn number 1. Another great restart, this time for Chris McCullough. Nagels dives to the inside, now goes back to the outside. How deep does Strader drive it in? All the way to the left door number of Cody Nagels. Battles on for second. Strader underneath Nagels. McCullough away with the lead by 5 car lengths. Nagels will maintain second for now. In behind him, Strader to third, Eldred to fourth, Reynolds to fifth. Down to 3. Strader, will he be on the move again? Battle is back here around Reynolds. Reynolds and Galgan, a heated battle ongoing here for 5th. Reynolds has it. Galgan wants it. Modesty and Hayden battle for 7th behind them. That'll fade out as well. And now Galgan. Can he get the spot? Also a battle up here for 2nd. Nagels and Strader battle for that spot. Galgan, Reynolds, Nagels, Strader going at it on lap 80. And this is what I meant. Cody Nagels is tough to pass. And Strader, oh man, now he has to back out. Nagels slams the door shut in his face. Says, I don't care. Oh, trouble! Around goes Cody Eldred. He gets sideways in front of the field, but luckily for him, is not hit by anybody. And again, the caution flag is out on lap number 81. Go back and take a look at what happened to Cody Eldred. He was right in front of Trey Galgan. I believe he's going to get some help from the 49. Shuts the door into the corner. And Galgan, does he get in the back of the 4 car? Oh, he starts to break loose, and then he does get a little bit of help there from Galgan. And that gets him out of shape. Hunter Reynolds has to escape to the high side. Man, how did he get around that one? Eldred locks it down and is able to, I think, just kind of tail whip the wall. Minor contact there for the 4 car. And he's able to continue on with not much damage. Well, I'll tell you, from that angle, looking straight on, I don't think he was loose at all. I think Galgan gets in the corner a little bit deeper than Eldred does and just gets in the back of him. And slides Eldred out of shape. And Eldred goes for a harmless spin. He's going to tail whip the wall and come to a stop on the exit of turn number 4. Go on board with Hunter Reynolds, as he got a front row seat to this. On board with Hunter Reynolds, he's going to get a very, very close view of this one. And boy, does it happen quickly. Woo! Has to escape topside and make a bit of an evasive maneuver, but he does just that. And is able to keep it going. Eldred only drops all the way back to about 12th, 13th position, so not a lot lost there for Eldred either. Sixth caution flag of the night. On lap number 83. And for the first time tonight, we're going to take our first commercial break. Nobody pits under this caution, so we will run a couple more pace laps. We'll take our first break of the night. You're watching the Turn 3 Racing Network's coverage of the OP Racing Throwback Series. We'll be right back from Gateway. Welcome back to World Wide Technology Raceway. Gateway, the host of tonight's second round of the OP Racing Throwback Series, here live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Dawson Wise with you as the field works its way around under caution on lap number 83. That will tick to lap 84, and the lights will go out atop the iRacing pace truck. We will double up the field once again. It'll be Matt Hayden and Adam Roberson on row number 1, Christian Schrader and Hunter Reynolds on row number 2. Chris McCullough, Cody Nagels on row number 3. Trey Galgan, Rusty Modesty, row number 4. Now on the screen, Andrew Schroeder on row number 5. 57 laps of clean and green racing, a green flag pit stop, and since then, lap 57, the last 30 laps of this race have been plagued by yellow. 6 cautions in the last 27 laps of this race. And these guys are hoping we get back into a green flag run, and so am I. And I'm sure so are you. You came to watch racing, not pacing. So Hayden and Roberson now will lead the field down to the restart. Another different leader over the last 30 laps. And here we go. Hayden, Roberson, Strader, Reynolds, and McCullough, your top 5 for this restart. We are 15 laps short of halfway. Now solidly within a 3-stop strategy for the remainder of the race as the race gets into a green flag run. To the restart zone comes the field. Green flag will go back in the air, and we're racing again at Gateway. Hayden away with the lead by 2 car lengths on Roberson. Battle for second. Strader inside, Roberson outside that. It will turn to the battle for third, as it'll be Reynolds versus Strader for that spot. Can Strader clear up on the nose of the 26? Not quite. He will battle him all the way down the back stretch and into turn number 3. Hayden by 3 car lengths now over Adam Roberson. But the caution flag is out again. Lap 85. Oh boy. This is a couple different incidents here. Oh man, Andrew Bledsoe pounds the outside wall. He got way out of shape, and then up here, what happens in this second wreck? Oh, Alex Green way out of shape in Elmore. Elmore tries to get on the brakes. No dice for him, unfortunately. And you'll see he gets sideways, and he's trying to get off the racetrack, but Elmore just clips him, and then Eldred's going to clip to 31, and it is on from there. As Eldred gets involved, Dupree slides out of the way. Davey Weaver tries to get out of the way, but is unable. He collects himself into the wreck as well. Michael Wingo on the brakes. He somehow gets around it. And another caution flag on lap 87. Still short of halfway. As still 114 laps, 113 to go next time by. So we'll await the field to double up and try it once again on lap 88. A lull in the race. 7 cautions in the last 30 laps after we went the entire first 57 with no yellows. We'll try it again here in a moment. Want to remind you again, if you weren't with me at the top of the broadcast, that this weekend over on the PGR Esports YouTube channel, we're going to have the first annual PGR Esports SummerSlam 499. It's a premier event, a crown jewel event, the biggest event in the history of the PGR Esports promotion. Over 140 of Super Speedway Racing's best are currently signed up to go for 40 spots in the feature race on Sunday afternoon, which is a full 188-lap event from Talladega. They have to get through prelim day first. It'll be 5 prelims on Saturday afternoon starting at 1:45 p.m. Eastern. That's when coverage will begin on PGR Esports Network, PGR Esports here on YouTube. Again, PGR Esports. I'll be on the call for most of prelim day as we get you set for Sunday afternoon's main event. It'll be 5 50-lap prelims of 25 to 30 to however many drivers apiece. 5 drivers from each prelim make the feature directly, and then 6th through 14th in each prelim advance into the last chance qualifier. 15th on back are eliminated from the event. Then from the last chance qualifier, we'll take the top 15 from that race, and it will make up the 40-car feature event for Sunday afternoon, the first ever SummerSlam 499 for PGR Esports. Prize pool down to the 20th position, but the winner gets the spoils. A $1,000 guarantee to the race winner, along with a custom championship belt to signify the victory. And when I tell you the field is loaded, the field is loaded. Some of Super Speedway Racing's best, several from OP Racing are making the trip, including Cody Nagels, who will be there this weekend, and some of iRacing's best. Road to Pro drivers, Coca-Cola iRacing Series drivers are entered as well. You will not want to miss it. Come out and race. Go check out the PGR Esports website or the PGR Esports Discord. If you can't make it out this weekend to race, I'll be on the call for most of the weekend over on PGR Esports on YouTube. Head on over there, hit subscribe, and bookmark those streams. We'll be live at 1:45 Eastern on Saturday afternoon and 12:30 Eastern on Sunday afternoon for the SummerSlam 499. Matt Hayden brings the field back into the restart zone. 89 laps complete, 111 to go, from Gateway. Green flag is back in the air, and we're back racing once again. Matt Hayden, another great restart, 3-car length lead by the time they hit turn 1. Battle is for second. Adam Roberson has it. Christian Strader wants it. Heard some tires sliding back towards the back of the field, but everybody got through it okay. Down the back straightaway for the first time off the restart. Hayden by 4 car lengths. Then Roberson, Strader, Reynolds all in line. McCullough settles into 5th, and Trey Galgan settles nicely in 6th. Strader going to look up the speedway, one of the first to try it here on this green flag run. And now the field gets strung out. Let's see if we can get a run going. McCullough to the inside of Reynolds. He looked for the spot, couldn't get it. Now jumps high, goes half a lane higher than the Reynolds machine. Can McCullough work that top side? Is the top side starting to come in? Oh, a couple cars in the wall. Matt Hayden got it. Christian Strader did as well. They both hold on to the race car. Galgan deep into turn 3. Looking for the spot on McCullough as McCullough looks for the spot on Reynolds. He'll grab the right rear that time. That second lane is really coming in here as the track rubbers up. And Chris McCullough is once again on the move. He will try to get 4th here on the entry of turns 1 and 2, but it's Christian Strader who tries to get 2nd from Adam Roberson. Strader on the inside, Roberson on the outside. Behind this battle, Reynolds on the inside and McCullough on the outside. Now Galgan on the outside. Move McCullough to 4th. Move Galgan to 5th. Strader rounding the curbs, wrapping the bottom side of this 1 mile speedway. Roberson continues to wrap the top side. But this time, Strader gets the advantage here down the front stretch and may make the pass here in 1 and 2. Still wrapping right along those red and white curbs. But man, that second groove has really rubbered in nicely over the course of the first 90 laps of this race. Almost trouble. There may be trouble here going into 3. Roberson got the outside wall and sends the field into a bit of a frenzy here on the entry of turn 3. But they keep it together. Some damage, but they overall keep it together. And this is a fun battle we got going back here. Galgan wants 3rd. McCullough wants 4th, and Reynolds wants 5th. Galgan power move. McCullough now the next one to try, but he will continue to be committed to that second lane. Now he'll dive to the bottom. He'll go to the inside of Adam Roberson. He wants position number 4. Good racing tonight at Gateway so far. This is really fun to watch. Off turn 4 down the front straightaway. McCullough again on Roberson, but no harm, no foul there. Battle for 7th. Nagels and Rusty Modesty. Tight battle here. Modesty wants the spot. Nagels running up in that little bit more rubbered up second, third groove, but Modesty gets the better of him that time. They'll stay side by side. Modesty with the advantage. Nagels continues to battle. Tries to pin the 5 down, but will not be able to. Modesty on by for 7th. Well, Matt Hayden leads on lap 96. But Christian Strader has made it back up to 2nd, the highest he's been since the pit road penalty dropped him to 13th. Back on our second cycle of pit stops, the first under caution. Took him 40 laps, but he now has clean track and the leader in his sights. Hunter Reynolds, Chris McCullough going to battle for the 5th position. As they both make it to Adam Roberson at the same time. And McCullough, this may help him. Oh, he washes way up the racetrack. A little bit too early to be going that high. He's going to lose both spots. Roberson maintains 4th. Reynolds through to 5th. And McCullough will stay 6th. Reynolds wants 4th. Big wiggle out of Roberson right there. He's had a handful all night. And yet continues to wheel this car. He's still inside the top 5. He's been struggling with handling all night long, but boy, he's found a way to wheel that race car. Fastest cars on track right now, Christian Strader and Hunter Reynolds. But it's Matt Hayden that continues to lead the way. And again, nice situation it's kind of panned out to be here for Matt Hayden, the Valvoline Taurus. Pit strategy plus caution timing allows him to kind of work his way to the front of the field, and he's not giving up the spot yet. Started on the pole of this race. And now has worked his way back to the lead. Coming back around, lap 100 on the board this time by. Triple digits on the board for the first time. Nagels is on the move. Cody Nagels, hold on a minute. Starting to run some competitive lap times. Galgan fastest on the speedway. Nagels, third fastest. So Cody Nagels, the hometown driver, has figured something out. And he's up to 7th. Don't count him out yet. Off turn number 4 comes Matt Hayden. He's going to have company here in a moment. He crosses the line halfway this time by. He'll get the cross flags from the flagman to signify halfway. Wow, Christian Strader's got that thing wound up. He was loose on entry right there, and Galgan's going to take advantage. Will he get all the way to second? No, but they will battle down the backstretch. Strader able to use that top lane for now to defend it. They both close on the leader, Matt Hayden, in another fun battle for the lead, potentially for the win, should this race continue to be green, is about to ensue. But these two now focused on each other. Hunter Reynolds through to 4th. He gets the spot from Roberson. McCullough and Nagels are next up. Fastest car that time by Hunter Reynolds. Nagels and Jordan Anderson, the next two fastest on the speedway. Hayden continuing to lead. Strader now distances himself from Galgan a little bit. And will now hunt the leader, Matt Hayden, again. The champ wants the spoils tonight. He's second. Inside of 100 laps to go. Starting to look at lap times. Reynolds still fastest on the speedway, but not by much. Strader only 300 slower. But he's 0.3 faster, or 0.2 faster than our leader, Matt Hayden. Strader, 4 car lengths back of the leader in closing. 97 laps to go this time by Galgan, right on the tail of the 29. And Hunter Reynolds has closed the gap considerably over the course of the last 8 laps. Now he's 1/10 faster. Reynolds and Galgan 1/10 faster than the field that time by. Strader, how much is he saving? Same with Galgan, same with Reynolds. How much are they saving? How much is Hayden saving? That's the question now. 96 to go. Galgan for second. To the inside of Strader. They both continue to close up on the leader, Hayden, but now being too wide again. Hayden able to pull a little bit more of a gap on these two cars. Strader will maintain second for now. Will he maintain it all the way through 3 and 4? I don't know. Galgan is a man on a mission right now. Galgan to second, slides across the nose. Trey Galgan looking for win number 2 already. What a good race it's already been for him. Reynolds still the fastest car on the racetrack. In 4th, he's picked up 2/10 on the leaders over the past 5 laps. Galgan for the lead, drives it in way deep on Matt Hayden. He'll get alongside the leader here down the front stretch. Strader will be in this battle. Where will Christian Strader go in all this? He'll close on the leaders, and now he'll be involved. How much does Reynolds close as well? Already another 2/10 gained by him. Galgan to the race lead. Powerful move. Hayden back on the outside trying to maintain. Can he stay on the right recorder panel? He can. Galgan slides up a little bit. And he'll tuck back in. Matt Hayden excellent defensively there to keep Galgan behind him. Galgan again, a deep drive into 3 and 4. He'll again draw to the left rear quarter panel of Matt Hayden, and down the front stretch will again drag race. Strader, I think, is going to be the man to watch in the long run here. Battle for the lead continues. Galgan deep into 1. Hayden maybe a little bit too ambitious. Can he stay on the right rear quarter panel? Actually, a really nice drive on the exit of the corner. That top line is really rubbered in, and it's made this track wide in the later stages of this race. It's going to make for some really great racing as we get later and later in tonight's event. Hayden now, I think, will have to concede. Yep, Galgan will slide across. New leader, Trey Galgan. The points leader after 1 week. Last week's winner at Daytona to the point. And now he tries to set sail. But again, Christian Strader, I'm telling you, you got to keep an eye on Strader here on the late run. I think he's saving. Hunter Reynolds is closing, a second back of Galgan. Chris McCullough is through to 6th. Cody Nagels is still 7th. Fastest cars on the racetrack last time, Galgan and Reynolds. And then Isaiah Dupree back in 8th. A very comparable lap time to the leaders. Next time by 90 laps to go. I believe it would still be a 3-stop strategy for the leaders. So we'll wait and see. Oh, wow. Oh, this is interesting. Strategy going to kick in early. Matt Hayden's coming to pit road. So interesting decision. He pits earlier than I thought. Right on the number, actually, to make it on 3 stops. I don't mind this for Matt Hayden. He's going to go off strategy. He knows he's going to go more for long run speed. Also shorter pit stops. Just trying to throw the strategy off. And he's going to make a very interesting strategy decision on lap 110. Now, will anybody follow him on lap 111? The answer to that is, you best believe they will. Galgan pits. Roberson pits. On lap 111, Strader holds the lead, and oh man, the worst possible timing for the guys on pit road. And it's a caution flag. And thought it might have been Alex Green. Well, doesn't appear to be Alex Green. Well, for Anthony Bledsoe, maybe? Ah, yes, here's the caution. I was wondering, I was like, what is the caution for? Anthony Bledsoe? Ah, man, he had it saved, overcorrects. That's a tough hit to the inside wall for Bledsoe, who has had a tough night. We'll take another quick look at this, because, again, this is... I think the caution might actually be because he stopped. Again, you see corrects and then back to the left, and that's a tough hit right there for the 54 machine. But back live because the field is on pit road. And this kind of ruins what Trey Galgan, Matt Hayden, and Adam Roberson were trying to do, and that's completely undercut the field and throw the strategy off. Well, unfortunately for them, the field pits here a lap later, basically 2 laps later. And Reynolds wins the race off pit road. And those guys, Galgan, Hayden, Roberson, didn't get all the way around, so they won't inherit the lead. Man, that's a tough break for those 3 cars. By undercutting, they were going to be the leaders when we got to the pit cycle for the rest of the field, and Just a tough break. The caution fell at a really bad time. And they will now be pinned back in traffic. And actually, Adam Roberson's going to get pinned a lap down. He's going to come back to pit road. He's already a lap down. Galgan and Hayden are on the tail end of the lead lap. And we'll get their wave arounds when we get one to go next time by. So now we're down to a two-stop strategy. We'd imagine lap 145, lap 175. Our general target laps for the leaders now. It does actually beg the question. Roberson pit on lap 110. So did Hayden pit on 110. Galgan and Roberson pit on 111. So their pit stops will be more like 141 and 171. Will that 5 laps of undercut be able to benefit those cars that came down early? The strategy might not be completely dead yet. I actually kind of like the spot they're in. Now, the track position part is unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. They're going to have to restart back in 14th and 15th, but I don't mind the strategy situation that they're in, because now, by undercutting by that much, you can really put some time on the leaders. And we saw it with Hunter Reynolds earlier in the race. He undercut by 2 laps and almost ended up the race leader. I mean, 5 laps, yeah, your tire's going to be 5 laps older, yeah. But even just undercutting, even by a little bit, makes it a really favorable position for those 2 cars. So I don't hate the spot that they're in right now. We'll go green on lap 117. Hunter Reynolds, Christian Strader, row 1. Chris McCullough, Rusty Modesty on row 2. Isaiah Dupree, Cody Nagels on row 3. Jordan Anderson, Cody Eldred on row 4. Bo Benham and TJ Spainhour on row 5. Last 5 cars on the lead lap. Andrew Schroeder, Alex Green, Michael Wingo, Trey Galgan, and Matt Hayden. Hunter Reynolds inherits the lead on pit road. Can he keep it here on the restart? Into the restart zone again under our 8th caution of the night. Green flag is back in the air, and off they go towards turn number 1. It's a great start for Hunter Reynolds. Christian Strader to 2nd. McCullough and Modesty will battle for 3rd, and now Strader, the hunt is on. Reynolds was pressing him on the last restart, and he drives away Hunter Reynolds. He's figured something out. Strader now back to his back bumper, though that high line, man, it's rolling so well right now in 1 and 2. But, oh boy, here comes Chris McCullough. Out of nowhere, shot out of a cannon is the 0-3. Can he go to the lead here off turn 4? Not quite. Strader will follow him to the bottom. Chris McCullough to the inside of Hunter Reynolds. 83 laps to go from Gateway. McCullough to the race lead. Strader will battle now with Reynolds. Reynolds back to the top side. He got spooked out of line. Reynolds goes wide. He's going to drop all the way to 4th, maybe 5th by the time they get to the end of the back straightaway. He'll battle for 4th with Dupree. McCullough the lead. Modesty and Strader now on his back bumper. And McCullough, can he drive away as Chris McCullough figured something out? 82 laps to go when the field once again hits the start-finish line. And Chris McCullough is sailing away a little bit from the field. Strader trying to get 2nd for Modesty. Christian Strader was the early dominant car of the race. But some cars have just come alive as the race has continued on. Chris McCullough, Hunter Reynolds, Rusty Modesty have all come to life over the course of the last 50 or so laps, but for how long? Here comes the champ. Christian Strader to the inside. He's fully rebounded from that pit penalty, and now he wants to lead. Christian Strader to the inside for the race lead. Down the front stretch they go. Strader trying to hang on the left rear quarter panel. Modesty gets back to him, and the battle's back on for 2nd again. McCullough up the racetrack, Modesty following in his tire tracks, and Schrader wrapping the curbs. Schrader back to the inside. Can he get the spot here? Can he at least file in line? He can. Schrader to second. And now he hounds the 0-3 of McCullough, who now goes to the bottom to block. Schrader, I don't know if I test him in his own line. Schrader's been so good down there on the curbs tonight. But he's got to hold off Rusty Modesty in the charge behind him. Don't look now. Cody Nagels is here as well. He is 5th place on the racetrack with 80 laps to go. And he's very much in this battle for the race lead. Reynolds looks on Modesty for 3rd. Nagels hanging in the balance behind Reynolds. Schrader continues to hound McCullough for the race lead. It's 5 cars under a blanket. It might be more than that in a second. Jordan Anderson and Isaiah Dupree have joined the fight. So too has Trey Galgan. Galgan is charged through the field and he's all the way back up to 8th. Schrader to the bumper. Doesn't lay the bumper, stays off the back bumper of the 0-3. Anderson is loose in front of Isaiah Dupree. The battle for the lead has kind of separated itself. It's Modesty 3rd. It's Reynolds 4th, and it's Nagels 5th. McCullough way up the track. It's a little bit high. It's not been rolling as well. One car coming out here in front of the leaders. That is Adam Roberson. Schrader to the bottom. They'll be double file and coming up on Roberson here in a moment. Schrader for the lead. To the curbs goes the 29. McCullough hanging on the right side of his door. Trying to hang on the car length on the quarter panel. Can he do it? He runs up the racetrack. Christian Schrader power move. Back to the point goes the 29. McCullough crosses over. He wants to lead back into 1 but won't get it. Schrader now back to the point for the first time since lap 60. Modesty now on McCullough for 2nd. The battle will be for that position. Reynolds is going to wait in the wings here. So is Cody Nagels, and Jordan Anderson and Isaiah Dupree have introduced themselves to this as well. Battles on behind the leader. Modesty through to 2nd. Reynolds trying to follow on through to 3rd. 77 laps to go when they hit the line, but McCullough battles back. Modesty versus McCullough drag race down the front stretch. Anderson and Dupree and Galgan and maybe even Cody Eldred are starting to bring themselves into this battle. And this track, man, it is widened out. Look at this line that Rusty Modesty's running in the middle of 1 and 2. It works. McCullough loose. Modesty to 2nd. Reynolds to his outside now for 3rd. And McCullough goes from the lead to 4th in a matter of 5 laps. Modesty through to 2nd. Reynolds through to 3rd. Nagels tried to get 4th, but no cigar for him right now. He'll ride in behind Chris McCullough for a moment as Anderson, Dupree, Galgan, Eldred, and the rest of the field come in on the back bumper of that machine. Nagels to the bottom. They'll look again on McCullough. Reynolds, Modesty continue to battle about a half a second behind the race leader Christian Schrader. Roberson's about 10 car lengths in front of the leaders here as they approach him. 75 to go. Still 2 pit stops remain in this race. 1 around lap, I would say about 145 to 151 between laps 175 and 180. Schrader leads. Modesty 2nd. Reynolds 3rd. Nagels 4th. McCullough 5th. Reynolds looking on Modesty. That's going to be for 2nd. And the focus now for Modesty goes backwards instead of forwards. Reynolds to the inside of Modesty, who tries to run that 2nd lane here in 3 and 4. They'll continue double file down the front stretch and allow Christian Schrader to outrun them just a little. Reynolds, if he can get past, this is going to be a fun battle for the lead if he can get back to Christian Schrader, because those 2 cars are very fast. Modesty too far up the track, I think. Let's see if we can roll it here off of 2, but Reynolds might be able to slide up. Not quite. Modesty continues to be right on his door as they head down into turn 3 again. Reynolds drives it in deep, and as such, Modesty's able to hang with him on the outside. They drag race again through 3 and 4. And again, they'll be side by side, and Schrader now, he's thanking them for this as he's starting to drive away. Modesty, Reynolds, battle for 2nd. Nagels, meanwhile, is closing the gap here to these 2 cars. Chris McCullough is hounded now by Jordan Anderson and Isaiah Dupree. Big drive into the corner. Reynolds almost contact with Modesty. That's as deep as we've seen anybody drive in all night. Hunter Reynolds, are you kidding me? How did he get that to stick? Without using the 5 cars a brake. See if he drives it in deep here in one again. He's going to drive hard through the middle of the corner, try to gain the exit speed. This is an incredible battle for second. It's going on as Schrader stretches his lead close to a second. Nagels waits in the wings here for these two cars. Modesty hanging on for now for dear life here in 3 and 4 into the second position. This is great stuff here from Gateway. Anderson and Dupree battle, that's for the 6th spot. And Galgan waits behind them, currently scored in 8th. Modesty holds off Reynolds, but for how long? Dupree on by Anderson, that's for 6th. Trouble! Chris McCullough, it's the 0-3 car. And Isaiah Dupree as well. Two of the fastest cars of the night are sideways, and the caution flag flies for the 9th time with 70 laps to go. Let's go take a look at the 9th caution flag of the night. This was Isaiah Dupree and Chris McCullough. McCullough slides up right across the bumper of Dupree. Dupree tries to cross over, and I think is going to give McCullough a tap and gets him sideways, and then Dupree is going to get collected. So too is Jordan Anderson. So the 5th, 6th, and 7th place cars at the time are collected in this incident. Now, none really got a ton of damage, but they are all involved. McCullough drives it in deep, trying to play defense. He's gonna walk it up the track a little bit here on the exit, trying to wrap it out to the wall. Dupree drives a little bit less into the corner and tries to cross over, taps the back end of the 0-3, and then bam! Jordan Anderson, Dupree involved. Galgan narrowly misses this one. And trouble for the 9th time tonight. Oh, a shake-up off pit road. Some strategy calls with 68 laps to go. Cody Eldred goes opposite the field and decides to go either with 2 or no tires, and he'll inherit the lead. Matt Hayden also makes that call and will inherit P2. Relegates Strader, Modesty, Reynolds, Nagels, and company 2 spots behind where they were. So interesting strategy call here for these two, but late stages of the race. This is kind of what Hunter Carlson did at Martinsville last season. He made a late race strategy call to go off cycle. It gave him the lead, and a late caution allowed him to stay up front, and he ended up going on to win the race. So this could absolutely be a call that helps you potentially keep yourself in it. Eldred awaiting his first win. Matt Hayden, the winner in this series. So too is Strader. Modesty is yet to go to victory lane. Hunter Reynolds, Cody Nagels as well, looking for their first win. Same with Jordan Anderson. So a lot of guys there up front that have not yet won in this series. So interesting strategy call here. We are very close to where you could save and make it on one more pit stop. I'm wondering if anybody will try it here on this green flag run. If it gets into where we're approaching this, what could be the last round of pit stops, I would not be surprised to see somebody try to gamble and take the fuel tank all the way to the end. Austin Collins did something similar to that back at Dover last season. And he almost won the race. He had the car off like Kyle Larson rolling around that place. We'll see if anybody tries it. Adam Roberson, he'll get a lap back. He's on the tail end of being 1 lap down, so he'll get one of those back right here. And we will go green, I believe, with 66 laps to go in the race. Here we go again. 66 laps to go. Still at least one pit stop remaining. And now the question becomes, what is the fuel mileage on these race cars? Cody Eldred, Matt Hayden have gambled here on strategy. How will it pay off for those cars? Updates, by the way. Alex Green, Andrew Schroeder, Michael Wingo all back on the lead lap. So it makes 15 cars on the lead lap here with 66 laps to go. Cody Eldred, the Sharpie Chevrolet. He's made the gamble. Will it pay off? For the driver of the 4, the Valvoline Eagle 1 Taurus as well, gambling on this pit stop. How will it work out for him? 66 laps to go in Gateway. Green flag is back in the air. We're back racing. Pretty good start here for both of the leaders. Eldred's going to be able to clear up, I believe, here going into 1. Not quite. There'll be double foul for a moment. Eldred will drive in with the lead. Hayden wants it. Eldred slides up a little bit. And now they scramble. Nagel's out of the groove. Cody Nagel's way wide here in turn 2. Trouble. Trey Galgan, last week's winner, Dupree. Big incident here off turn number 2. And it's last week's winner and the points leader that's involved. Dupree, Galgan, Alex Green involved. And again, another immediate caution. Now you should be able to save enough to make it to 1 stop. But first, let's go see what happened back here. Around Trey Galgan, Cody Nagels snaps loose. Man, I don't know what happened underneath the 6 car. And then Galgan, as he rolled through the middle of the corner, does he get some help? Some contact behind him? No, he just snaps loose. Galgan out of the groove. Slides it sideways, narrowly misses Hunter Reynolds. Cody Nagels barely misses this one as well. Oh, man, Chris McCullough. And Alex Green up underneath Isaiah Dupree, and then gets Trey Galgan as well. Andrew Schroeder. Oh, man, Andrew Schroeder hammers the left side of Alex Green, who then gets more of Isaiah Dupree. This is a big incident. Watch Galgan there, the 49, as he slides loose off of turn number 2, and then you'll see the guys coming behind him. Oh, man, actually got a pretty good view of that. We'll have to wait and see what the damage is on Galgan and Alex Green and Isaiah Dupree, but they all 3 sit on pit road. As Cody Nagels rolls off again, you should be able to save now to make it a 1-stop race. And make it on 1 more pit service to the end of tonight's event. Still 64 laps to get there. So now the question becomes strategy. 63 laps to go. It'll be 60 laps to go, or 61 laps to go when we go back green. The question now becomes strategy. The cars under this caution that came to pit road that I think are good to 1-stop this race, to make it on 1 more green flag stop. Trey Galgan, Isaiah Dupree, obviously, and Cody Nagels, along with Roberson and Green, but Roberson, I believe, still has some damage. No, he does not. He's back out on the lead lap. But Trey Galgan, Isaiah Dupree, Cody Nagels. I believe those are the cars that can now make it on 1 stop on fuel. Barring, of course, and dreaded commentator's jinx coming up, barring that this race goes green. I question, though, if the range is as long as we think it is. I wonder now have some of these guys at the front potentially saved enough as well to go the remainder of this run to make it a one pit stop race? It's going to be really interesting. I hope this race goes green. I really want to see this strategy play out. I want to see, did Galgan and Dupree, obviously by no choice of their own, coming to pit road. Nagels lost some track position and said, you know what, I might as well. And we'll see if, potentially, if these guys have to make a stop outside the window, those three cars are going to be sitting awfully pretty. Wait and see. It'll be 61 laps to go. Cody Eldred, Matt Hayden still on the gamble from earlier. On tire strategy, at least. They were not able to be passed before the caution flag flew for that 10th time. Here we go. Cody Eldred leads the field into the restart zone again. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing again on lap 140. Great start for Eldred. My goodness, he's ahead by 2 car lengths here as the field works into 1, but that's not good. In the case that Christian Strader may be on his back bumper by the time we go into 3. Off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. 60 laps to go when the field approaches the start-finish line once again. At least 1 stop remaining, potentially 2 for some of the drivers in the field. Again, we believe the 6, the 49, the 86, and the 28 can make it on 1 pit stop the remainder of the way. They have to hope this race stays green. Galgan and Nagels, watch that battle back there, because if they are the only ones that can make it on 1 stop, provisionally that would be the battle for the win. Eldred holds on to the race lead. Strader wants it from him. Looking to the inside is Christian Strader. The race is fast break. Trouble! A car is around, and it's Michael Wingo. Throw the wrench and everything. We're going to make this replay quick because I want to see if drivers come to pit road or if they save here under this caution. And I believe this one's going to be on TJ Spainhour. Oh, the 001's actually already loose, so not really anything TJ can do here. And as Wingo tries to save it, he's going to be lifted up off the ground by the 910 of Spainhour, and around goes Michael Wingo. And Alex Green, oh man, he's got the front tires locked up. He's hooking it left, and he makes his way past Wingo. As the caution flag flies for the 11th time. Okay, I want to keep it up front because I want to see if anybody pits first of all, or if they're all going to opt to save, and that is not what Cody Nagels, Adam Roberson, Isaiah Dupree, and Trey Galgan wanted to see. As most of the field will pit under the 11th caution flag of the night. All right, we're going to take one more commercial break here under our 11th caution of the night on lap 143. Assuming this race may go green to the finish. Again, stay right here on Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back with the conclusion of tonight's race in Gateway with 57 laps to go here tonight in St. Louis.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to World Wide Technology Raceway. Round 2 of the OP Racing Throwback Series Season 3. As we have just under 60 laps to go at Gateway. It's a bit of a marathon. We are eclipsing the 2-hour mark as we speak, but bear with us. This one is almost to its conclusion now. Those strategy questions from a moment ago, they still do remain for a couple of these race cars, Christian Strader and Cody Eldred. But from Cody Nagels on back, we now know can for sure one-stop the remaining stretch of this race. Now my question becomes, again, how does the track position kind of cycle out over the course of this next little bit? Because if Nagels and Roberson and company and these guys are able to stay at the front and they're able to pit early and undercut the rest of the leaders, I'm wondering then if they'll be able to maintain the race lead. This still might work out for them. I still like the spot that these 4 cars are in up front, but from Trey Galgan on back, they pit under this caution and are for sure good to one-stop now. In fact, for sure good to run until about 24 laps to go. So here we go again. Cody Eldred, Christian Strader on row 1. Cody Nagels and Adam Roberson on row 2. Trey Galgan, Rusty Modesty, row 3. Matt Hayden, Bo Benham on row 4. And Chris McCullough and Hunter Reynolds on row 5. Last 5 cars on the lead lap. TJ Spainhour, Jordan Anderson, Isaiah Debris, Michael Wingo, and Alex Green. Andrew Schroeder is 2 laps down, I believe, in 16th. Anthony Bledsoe, multiple laps down. 17th, Davey Weaver, Brent Elmore, and Doug Johnson have called it a night as of lap 145. Green flag is back in the air once again. Eldred off and running towards turn number 1. He'll get to the race lead. Nagels will look for second on the champ. Strader going to try to roll that top side all the way to the race lead. Are we going to be 3 wide? Oh, I thought we were for a second, but no cigar. Strader through to second. He wants to lead, but there's no room. He's going to have to back out. Crossover. Strader bottom side of Eldred now for the race lead, potentially for the provisional win. Strader to the inside. Eldred to the outside. They battle hard through 3 and 4. Strader trying to wrap that bottom the shortest way around this 1.1 mile oval. Strader inside still on Eldred, and he'll hang on the left side door number all the way into one trouble. Matt Hayden, the 6 cars around. He's going to come back up into traffic, and ow, man, he pounds the outside wall and comes to a stop on the entry of turn number 1. And a good run is sidelined here for Matt Hayden. Now, let's see what happened back here. Oh, man, lifted off the ground by Chris McCullough. And down across Hunter Reynolds, and he's going to go for a slide through the grass. Now, this is a very dangerous slide back up the speedway because he comes not only really close to collecting Hunter Reynolds, but also to being hit by the 0-3 and the 10, instead harmlessly across the field and then noses into the outside wall. So that could have been a lot worse. Oh, it was a checkup. I'll point it out again. I'll go back. I just saw it on this replay. Watch the 5 and the 49 in front of the 6 car here. Watch the 5 get on the brakes right there. As he gets on the brakes, Hayden goes to get on the brakes. McCullough, he can't see that. He's right up tucked underneath the 6 car, and he gets in the back of him. So nothing egregious there. Just that Chris literally was blind. He could not see that checkup happening. And Matt Hayden, the unfortunate victim of that. But that was a major checkup right in front of the 6 car Matt Hayden. I'm not sure how I'm not sure how Rusty Modesty and Trey Galgan didn't get together right there. Going into one, I have no idea. Somehow they keep off of each other. I have no idea how, but McCullough and Hayden not as lucky. And they will both hit on, they will both hit pit road this time. Christian Strader leads under the 12th caution flag of the night. Still over 50 laps to go in this one. Still a pit stop left. For these drivers, everybody can now pit on one stop left in the race, so it should be an interesting last 50 laps. Lights still on atop the iRacing.com pace car, and as such, we're going to venture into some new territory and try an in-race interview for the first time. This is something I have never done, at least in this context. I've done it before, but we're going to try it again with a lap and a half to go. We're going to go grab the 6 of Cody Nagels. Let's see what he's thinking with a lap and a half to go until green. Hey, Cody, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're having to dig a little bit deep tonight. I know you guys are on the racetrack as well. That strategy, it looked like it was going to be perfect. Now, maybe not as perfect. Obviously, everybody behind you guys now is going to be able to pit a little bit later. Lap to go till green. What's the game plan here for the 6 car?
I'm going to have to continue trying to run quick times and kind of just keeping an eye on what Christian's doing out there and trying to mimic it the best I can, because it seems like he's the car to beat right now, and if I can just pick up on a few things he's doing, I'd like to at least get a podium spot or maybe even a little bit better depending on how everything plays out. But so far so good. Didn't qualify and just decided to work my way through the field, and seems like this car's got some speed.
Well, we've watched you kind of gain speed as you got more comfortable throughout the race, and you come down to Thursdays. Obviously, these are some guys you're not as familiar with in terms of racing around them. Real quick before we go green, what's the adjustment been like to racing around these guys here in the Throwback Series?
It's a different style of racing, obviously, from what I'm used to on Monday nights, and these guys are highly skilled at what they do, and I've just been kind of picking up on, what is making them so fast, and then, trying to even gain a little bit of speed on top of that. But definitely a much different feel over here, and hoping we can go green from here and kind of see who the fastest cars are.
We're looking forward to this run as well. Good luck the rest of the way. Restarting 4th here. We'll see if you can get on the podium in your first start.
Thank you.
Cody Nagels for Nightmare Esports, running 4th in his first start. He's right. He's picked up speed as the night's gone, but it'll be awfully tough to beat the Goodwrench Reese's Fast Break Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Christian Strader. 49 laps to go into the final stretch of this race. It's officially crunch time. Every time we have a caution, from this point on out, it's going to just make the stakes bigger. It's going to raise the temperature. Green flag is back in the air. Strader and Eldred towards turn number 1. It's a great start for the 29 of Strader. He's clear by 4 car lengths into turn number 1. And off goes the field, and now begins the preparations for the final run to the checkers. Eldred going to lose second. Nagels got the wall. Pardon, was it Eldred that got the wall? Regardless, one of those cars got the outside retaining wall, and now Nagels had to take advantage. He's on the bottom of Eldred. That's for 4th. Oh, man. Adam Roberson just shut the door in Trey Galgan's face. They're going to survive it for now. Almost 3 wide back around Jordan Anderson. Galgan tries to get past Roberson for 2nd as Strader escapes with the lead. Nagels runs 4th. Reynolds going for 5th on Eldred now. And down the backstretch, trouble again. And, well, it's Bo Benham. So Benham gets around right in front of Matt Hayden. Does Hayden get around him? He makes a little bit of contact, but nothing major there. Take one more look at it here. We'll go on board with Matt Hayden actually here in a moment, but pretty self-explanatory here as well. Benham out of the groove just a little, kicks the back end out and gets sideways, and Hayden coming on, and oh man, just barely a little bit of contact there. We'll go on board with Matt Hayden. Maybe, if I can find him. There we go. Ooh, boy. That could have been a lot worse for the driver of the 6. Thanking his lucky stars right now. Well, 155 up. 46 still to go. And actually a very relevant question in the chat that I don't think I've ever had to answer in this series. And it's, are we racing the clock yet? It's funny you ask. I don't know. Because when I click over to try to find time, that doesn't really work. Wonder if maybe this will give us a little bit of helpful information. It will not. Nice. Well, I'm not sure. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think when the race started, there were about 2 hours and 50 minutes on the race session clock. Well, yeah, it's a good point, but I'm a little bit occupied here. I'm obviously not going to jump in the ghost car while we're sitting here on the broadcast, but I do have a clock. I have a clock, up in the, the software that I use to kind of, provide the overlays. I do have a clock that runs up from 0. If I remember correctly, when we took the grid, there were 2 hours and 50 minutes on the race clock. Current race time, as it ticks up, is at about 2 hours and 3.5 minutes. So coming up on 2 hours and 4 minutes, which would mean we have 45 laps or 46 minutes remaining. I feel like I'm at the Chicago street course because we have to start watching the clock. Oh, well, yeah, the session is 4 hours, but I think that counts the hour practice and the 5-minute qualifying as well. So yeah, about 45, 46, 47 minutes, and still 45 laps, to where if this race gets into a bit of a caution fest here at the end, which it has the last about an hour again, it's been about the past 50 laps. We got into a run, and we got now another lull of cautions. If we have a few more cautions, I mean, we're genuinely going to be racing the clock. At this point, let me tell you for reference, we're going to have 43 laps to go when the field takes the green flag. They've been averaging about a 33-second, let's say a 33-second lap. So still, when they take the green, it's going to be about 32 minutes, 33 minutes of green flag racing. It's realistically about 2 more cautions, and then we'll be racing the clock. More so than we will the lap counter. So Christian Strader, Adam Roberson, Cody Nagels, I mean, they're golden right now in terms of finishing positions if this race continues in the way that it's been going, because really, I mean, if this race enters into a caution fest, there's not going to be much change in track position. So we are officially on time watch. I've never in my 2, 3, 4 years of doing this, I don't think I've ever had a session run out of time in the middle of the race. So 43 laps or 45 minutes, give or take, to go. We're on the clock. Off turn number 4, Strader and Roberson will lead the field back to the restart zone. Green flag will go back in the air, and start your timers. 45 minutes to go. If we go green from here, we'll easily get the race in. We have to go green. Strader away with the lead. by a car length, maybe a car length and a half. Roberson will pull through to second position. Galgan unable to advance to that spot, and they're almost wrecking. Rusty Modesty, that might be the caution we don't need, but they all save it. That was almost a very hairy situation in terms of the clock, but they all keep it together. Battle is for second. Trey Galgan and Adam Roberson. Galgan wants it. Nagels waits in the wings as well. 42 laps, 43 minutes to go. Car on the wall, it's Roberson. Galgan now to the inside. He wants second. Will he get it? I believe he will. They're still racing for it, but will he clear on the nose of Roberson? Not quite. Now Nagels has entered the fray. Roberson gets a little bit loose, and Nagels now will challenge him for third. Here comes Hunter Reynolds. He's fifth and wants more as well. All this as Schrader begins to sail away. Galgan's through to second now, though, and he's been consensus pretty much the second or third fastest car all night. Reynolds has probably been second or third as well. If they get to 1, 2, 3, combined with the problems of the clock, with the strategy, this is going to get interesting. Reynolds underneath Nagels. That's for fourth. They'll drag race down the front stretch as Galgan continues to try to run down Schrader. He's half a second back with 40 laps to go. 40 laps, 42 and a half minutes. We're officially in basically like official. Oh no! Jordan Anderson, sideways, hard into the inside wall. Will he keep it straight? He will, but can that car drive? Oh no, here comes TJ Spainhour. Oh my goodness, they almost come together. Anderson somehow keeps it together, and again, almost disaster. But we keep it green. 39 laps to go. Again, these guys still have to make a pit stop at some point in the next 39 laps. And that accounts into the time as well. That's going to back the race time up a little bit also. We really have about 8 minutes, give or take, right now that we can play with. And that's a good point as well in the chat. 2 green-white checkers. If the late caution comes out, the race could theoretically end. Got to get some laps in now and build that time buffer back up. Schrader off turn 4. Cars in the wall. Galgan got the outside wall. So did Roberson. Reynolds wants third. Galgan was charging to the leader, and Reynolds was about to get third from Adam Roberson. Rusty Modesty's on the move. He's up to fifth. Matt Hayden's backed up to seventh. Isaiah Dupree, Chris McCullough, 8th and 9th. Schrader, though, continues to pace the field. 37 laps, 41 minutes to go at Gateway. Really 41 and a half minutes. We have until midnight on the East Coast, so if you are looking at your clock, we have until 12 a.m. Eastern. So another 41 or so minutes, 40 and a half minutes now. Galgan again tries to run down Schrader. The gap is 0.6 of a second with 37 to go. The pit window would theoretically open in 4 laps on lap 168. If anybody wants to try to severely undercut the field and go ahead and pit in case this race fades into a bit of a caution fest, it might be the winning call to pit early and get yourself on a better strategy. Schrader continues to lead. Galgan's not going away, neither is Hunter Reynolds, but Schrader is running some of his best laps of the night. Around the lap car of Michael Wingo. Fastest car on track last time by Hunter Reynolds. Actually, scratch that, Matt Hayden. In 7th, fastest car on the speedway. 35 laps to go. 40 minutes to go. Schrader runs way up. Is this by design? Is this unintentional? We'll find out when he comes off turn 2. We'll see how much he gains on the gap to Galgan. And it stays constant, right about half a second. I'm not sure that was intentional by him. He's been wrapping the curbs basically all night. Why stop now? He gets back to the curbs in 3 and 4. Hunter Reynolds is on a mission. He's flying. Absolutely flying. 1/10 and a half faster than the leader last time by was Hunter Reynolds. Matt Hayden was even faster than, Rusty Modesty was even faster than him. That time by both Galgan and Reynolds faster. Reynolds is 4/10 faster than the leader. Roberson is faster than the leader as well. My question becomes now, is Schrader starting to save? Really, he has some time to give. It's still right about a half a second gap. He can afford to save a little bit here with 34 laps to go. The pit window opens next time by for our final pit service of the night. Nagels, Modesty, Hayden battle 3x3 for the 5th spot. Nagels has it. Modesty and Hayden trying to get up to this battle for the lead, which continues to intensify. Next time by 32 laps to go. Schrader and the rest of the lead lap cars avoid pit road that time by. And now with 32 laps to go, it's the waiting game. Who is the first to dive off the speedway and pit? You'd imagine it would be Schrader, Roberson, Nagels, and Cody Eldred, who are those 4 cars that stayed out. It'll probably be Eldred and Schrader first, then Nagels and Roberson, and then the rest of the field if they run the tanks out. Again, pit stops, those will be probably in the next 8 laps. 8 to 10, maybe 12 laps tops, and then, I mean, that's going to be a massive pit stop. The race comes down to this final pit stop. Who decides to undercut? It worked for Hunter Reynolds on the first stop of the race. If he had a few more laps, he would have been the leader. And that's why I say, if you're going to do it, it might just win you the race. Schrader stretched the lead to 0.6 of a second and over 1 second back to Hunter Reynolds. It's almost 2 seconds back to Roberson and over 3 back to now Matt Hayden, who runs 5th. Nagels and Modesty battle for 6th and 7th. We'll go back there and watch that battle in a moment, but I do want to keep it on the leaders because Schrader, I expect on pit road any moment now. We're reaching the end of what should be the fuel tank aboard that 29 car. I mean, we got to be getting close. But no dive to the access road yet. He keeps it on the racetrack another time, and now the lead is 1.4 seconds. And where did Trey Galgan go? He has dropped all the way to 5th. He might lose 6th here to Cody Nagels, or might lose 5th to Cody Nagels here. Galgan had some problems there on this run. He is still going backwards. Trey Galgan, one of the dominant cars of the night, is going backwards. He's now lost 5th, and he's coming to pit road. Trey Galgan cedes 6th position and undercuts the field. Another car is in as well. Adam Roberson, Schrader, and Reynolds are in also. Final pit stops of the night for the leaders. Schrader, Reynolds, Roberson, Galgan all got in clean. TJ Spainhour is on pit road as well. That hands control of the race on to Matt Hayden. Cody Nagels and Rusty Modesty battle for provisional 2nd spot. Will either of those cars pit? Here comes Hayden. He will pit. So too will Modesty. 2 cars on the racetrack still, Nagels and McCullough. Cody Eldred stays out. Isaiah Dupree stays out. Bo Benham stays out. And Reynolds beats Schrader off pit road. Nagels and McCullough cycle out about a half a lap, not a half a lap, half a straightaway behind the leaders, or what will be the leaders. And they still keep it on the speedway. And I don't actually mind this. It might make their stop just a little bit shorter. Do they gamble on tires potentially to make that stop really short? I would not put it past these two, especially at the front, to gamble on this final stop, as long as they don't lose a ton of time. They're not losing a ton right now. But they got to bring it to pit road. 25 to go. 1 car spinning, and the caution flag is out. And it traps most of the field a lap down. Okay. The caution flag is out. We're going to take a quick look at the replay because we want to get back to where this was one of the leaders. It had to have been. Was it Dupree? No. It's behind Dupree. Who is this caution for? Roberson, Galgan. Oh, it's Roberson. Adam Roberson loops it. Wow, makes a save. That's a really great save by Adam Roberson. Take one more look at it, and we'll go live, obviously, to catch these final pit stops for these guys up front. As Roberson loops it sideways, goes a 360 and gets it back going. And we are now under our 14th caution flag of the night. Nagels, McCullough, Dupree, Benham will pit. Reynolds and Schrader, though, are going to stay out. And this might trap cars a lap down. They got to get around the speedway. Nope, they actually will be on the tail end. So Reynolds and Schrader will stay out. But now the question will be, are they going to stay behind these cars? They will. So Galgan, Roberson, Modesty, Eldred, Hayden, Green will all be on the lead lap. But this group with Cody Nagels and company, if they can get off pit road before those guys get all the way back around, they're going to be right in prime contention for a potential run at the win. And here they come. So they will cycle really nicely off of this pit stop. Nagels will cycle first off pit road of these cars, then McCullough, then Benham, and then Dupree. Reynolds and Schrader inherit the lead, and Christian Schrader just earned himself another shot at Hunter Reynolds. Possibly the two fastest cars of the night will be first and second on a really late restart. Pit strategy out the window now. Everybody has made their final stop. 12 cars remain on the lead lap. But the most notable part of that, Nagels, McCullough, Benham, Nagels, McCullough, Benham, Dupree will have about 4 to 5 lap newer tires than Schrader and Reynolds. Now, I don't know if that'll matter on a 24, I believe a 22 lap run. But it will be a factor to watch out for. As Roberson and Modesty will get to go around the pace car here, so too will Eldred and Hayden. Well, at least they should. Well, we're not quite to 1 to go yet, so not quite. Clock update, 42 minutes to go. So I actually had my number wrong earlier. Apologies. We're looking, well, no. I actually don't have my number wrong. Sorry, I do have my number right. 31 minutes to go. 23 laps, 31 minutes. And I believe we're about to have some chaos ensue on this restart. I would think, because these front two cars, I mean, any pass at this point could be for the win between lap count, if this gets into a green flag run, also on time. This could very well be the pass for the win on this upcoming restart. Hunter Reynolds, Christian Schrader are going to battle for the race win. Nagels, McCullough, Benham, Dupree in a really good spot. And then Galgan and Roberson, Modesty, Eldred, Hayden, and Green, they got caught badly there. Those cars will be able to get back on the lead lap, or at least back around to the tail of the field this time by when the lights go out atop the pace truck. And we will set up for a late race restart. 21 laps to go. Schrader and Reynolds on row 1. Nagels and McCullough on row 2. Dupree, Benham on row 3. Galgan, Roberson, Modesty, Eldred, Hayden, the actual last 5 cars on the lead lap. Who's going to make the first big move? Somebody's got to make a big move to try to win this race. Can Schrader get a good enough start to hang with Reynolds into 1? Does Cody Nagels maybe get through to 2nd? Does he get a look at this? Chris McCullough, he's been fast all night. Can he regain that speed from earlier in the race? Can he make a run at this? You're about to find out. 21 laps to go. It's been a long 180-lap wait. But now, We're ready to get it back underway. The pace truck takes the hard left, and Hunter Reynolds gains control of the field. Into the restart zone, one of the biggest restarts of the night. Green flag goes back in the air, and they're on the gas towards turn number 1. It's an incredible start for Hunter Reynolds. Strader is only meant to chase. Nagels drops in line. McCullough for second. Strader to the outside. He wants the lead early in the run, but McCullough, he's going to play spoiler perhaps. They're all to the back bumper of Hunter Reynolds, and it's a 3-car battle for the lead with 21 to go. 28.5 minutes to go on the clock. McCullough drives in deep. Tries to slide it across, tries to maybe get 2 for 1. Get on the bumper of Hunter Reynolds as well. McCullough to second. He'll now have a chance to run at the 25 or 26. But Strader back to the bottom. He's not content. He wants second place back. Trey Galligan's on the move further back. He's up to P5. McCullough is the man on the move, though. Can he cross over? He'll take a look. Nothing there. Galligan's all the way to 4th. Trey Galligan is flying. He is 4th, but he's also not saving. He is burning every last inch of those tires off that race car, trying to get to the race leaders. He's close to within 1.2 seconds trouble. Adam Roberson gets around. Can he keep it straight? He can. Everything's all good back here for now. 19 laps to go. McCullough hounding the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. He stays a half car length off his back bumper. Strader now fades to about half a second back. Trey Galligan is only 1.1 seconds back. McCullough drives in deep. He's going to try to drive it through the middle of the corner and get back to the left rear quarter panel of Hunter Reynolds. McCullough up on the wheel. Hunter Reynolds trying to play defense. 18 laps to go this time by. 27 minutes left in the session to determine a winner. Can he drive through the center of the corner again? Man, McCullough is so good in the middle of turns 1 and 2 that he gets alongside the leader Reynolds. Chris McCullough. The return to OP, the return to the Throwback Series. He guns for the lead. Drives it in deep. Can he get that drive through the center of the corner? They'll drag race all the way down the front stretch and underneath the flag stand. Can McCullough drive across his nose? He will. New leader, Chris McCullough. Strader's back in the fight, though. Christian Strader, he's drawn back into this battle. Galligan and Cody Nagels close in as well. McCullough, he's going to try to drive away. Strader's going to try to drive to the left rear Reynolds, but Reynolds isn't done with McCullough yet. Hunter Reynolds, he's got another run at the 0-3 car. Galligan and Nagels only a second back. If things get hairy up here between the leaders, they're waiting in the wings. Strader, you know how good he gets as he gets into a rhythm, as we get later in the run. If he gets back around this 26, it's going to make for a very fun finish to this race. For now, McCullough sets sail. Up by 0.4 of a second, but Galligan and Nagels continue to try to close to those next 2 cars. Reynolds is fading. Strader is fading. But is McCullough driving too hard? 15 laps to go. Big wiggle out of Christian Strader. He saves it and actually maintains his momentum, stays right on the bumper of Hunter Reynolds. Trey Galligan has closed on that battle, so too has Cody Nagels. 15 to go. The problem is if you're going to make a pass, if you're Strader, if you're Galligan, if you're Nagels, you've got to go quickly. Only 15 laps to go, and Chris McCullough continues to sail into the night. The battle will be for second. We'll take it back there for a moment. Strader putting a lot of pressure on Hunter Reynolds to make a mistake. 14 laps to go. At Gateway, it's McCullough by 0.7 of a second. It's then Reynolds, Strader, Galligan, Nagels. Bo Benham, how about his run tonight? He's having a great run back there in 6th. Strader in opening. Wraps the curve. Tries to get to the bottom. Can't. No dice. Strader, he's got to make this pass quick. They're not losing much time on the leader, but he's got to get around Reynolds quickly if he wants some clean track and a chance at McCullough. McCullough, he just can't burn the stuff up. Strader really wraps that curb right there. That was a great corner from the champ. To the inside. Christian Strader for second. Reynolds drives it in on the second line. Strader's been so good on the bottom of 1 and 2, but Reynolds has been so good on exit. Strader tight wrap around the bottom, and that's going to have to result in him diving back in line, and McCullough out clear by a second. $13 to go, 23.5 minutes. Galgan now, he closes in on Schrader for third. 12 laps to go. Schrader moves up. He now is off the curb. He'd run the curb all night. Now he moves up. A wiggle by both cars. Reynolds and Schrader both slide out of line. Both keep it straight. They're driving the wheels off these things right now. Back to the curbs goes Schrader. Reynolds a lot lower than he's been before. A little bit unorthodox for him tonight. And as such, Schrader gets a little bit better drive. He may get to his left side here down the front stretch again. Galgan takes a look. What a move off turn 4. Galgan to the inside of Schrader. He'll try to get 2 for 1. Schrader way up the track. Galgan takes a look on the inside of Reynolds. Schrader's going to hang on his bumper. And now Chris McCullough, he's loving this from the lead. Schrader now loses third to Galgan. Galgan a deep drive into 3, has to lift off the gas. Reynolds has to lift out of it as well. Galgan, will he get second? They almost come together. Oh, now Schrader and Reynolds almost come together. 10 laps remain in Gateway. Reynolds holds on to third. Cody Nagels has made his way into this battle as well. Can Galgan run down the leader? Schrader again wraps the curb. A little bit better exit that time. I think it's going to allow him to stay underneath the 26, but not for long. He'll dive deep into turn 3. Not much doing there. Cody Nagels, can he get around Schrader? Cody Nagels has found himself some speed late in this one. The problem is, McCullough continues to drive away. Galgan to second. The gap continues to grow. Schrader to the bottom of Reynolds. That's for third. This time, a lot better drive off. But again, I think he'll have to fade back in line. Inside of 10 laps to go in Gateway. Schrader continues to hound Reynolds as Galgan drives the wheels off of it, trying to get to Chris McCullough. 8 laps remain. Next time by 7 to go. The gap continues to stay pretty constant. It really has not changed a lot. Galgan is trying to chip away, but it's just not working. Some of Chris McCullough's best laps of the race right now. At the line, fastest car on the racetrack is Hunter Reynolds. But not by much, only a tenth over the leader. That's not going to do it with 7 laps to go. At the line, it'll be 6 to go. Reynolds again will take a look on Galgan for second. I believe Galgan's burned all the energy out of those tires. Schrader might have as well. These 3 cars, to me, appear to be spent. Schrader moves up. He'll try to drive it off the corner and get underneath Hunter Reynolds, but he slips and slides. And again, no dice. 5 laps to go in St. Louis. And it is all Chris McCullough right now. The gap shrinks. Galgan cuts it to a 1.5 seconds. Not out of the woods yet if you're McCullough. You still got to finish the race. At the line, it'll be 4 laps to go. The gap stays right at about a 1.5 seconds. 4 laps remain. Remember, green-white checkers are in place in this series if there's a caution flag. We have 2 attempts. should we need them when it comes down to it here in the next 4 laps. If they get to the white flag, though, this race is official. Three laps to go when they hit the line. And again, the gap stays right at 1.5 seconds. Trey Galgan, he's trying. Now he cuts it down to 1.2 seconds, but it's too little too late for Galgan. Strader trying to get anything he can on Reynolds here, trying to get to third. Off turn 4. 2 laps to go for Chris McCullough at Gateway. If he gets around to the white flag, the race is official. Down the backstretch for the penultimate time. It's down to 1.2. But again, it's too little too late. Not enough laps remaining for Galgan. Off turn 4, and the race will stay green, but McCullough taps the wall. Oh, man, I thought that was going to be a lot worse for him than it actually was. White flag, 1 lap to go at Gateway. Down to a second, but I don't think it's going to matter as long as he hits his marks. It's been a long time since a driver with last name McCullough has been able to call themselves a winner in OP racing. Tonight, assuming he hits his marks, it's going to happen again. Off turn 4, Chris McCullough comes into St. Louis and shocks the field. He wins at Gateway. Galgan second, Reynolds third, Strader fourth, Nagels fifth. Matt Hayden drove all the way back to 6th. And a marathon at Gateway, 2.5 hours, comes to a close. And Chris McCullough returns to OP Racing victory lane. We'll allow him to celebrate. As he celebrates a win here at Gateway, runs it into the wall. And he captures the victory here tonight in St. Louis. We'll go through your finishing results, and then we will talk to your top 3. We'll get to that in a second as well. Chris McCullough wins tonight in the Throwback Series. Trey Galgan finishes second. Hunter Reynolds finishes in third. The champ, Christian Strader, good run for him tonight in fourth. Cody Nagels, that's quite a debut start for him. He finishes fifth tonight at his home track. Matt Hayden finishes tonight in sixth with Adam Roberson in seventh. Rusty Modesty, 8th. Bo Benham, 9th. And Cody Eldred finishes in 10th. Isaiah Dupree finishes in the 11th spot. Alex Green in 12th. TJ Spainhour in 13th. Michael Wingo in 14th. It is Jordan Anderson in 15th, Andrew Schroeder 16th, Anthony Bledsoe 17th, Davey Weaver in 18th, Brent Elmore 19th, Doug Johnson 20th. Jimmy Reynolds failed to make the grid tonight. He finishes in 21st. Well, I do want to address that really quickly. So yeah, a long time since McCullough's been to victory lane. Well, it's been it's been about a month. I was obviously I had forgotten, and it's even worse because I was in that race. Chris actually won a Grand National Series race, so again, stole my own thunder there. Thought I was being really clever, thought it sounded really cool, and turns out it wasn't even factual. So apologies for that, Chris. Did not mean to spite him of a win, considering I'm pretty sure I was the car behind him. But regardless, Chris McCullough back to victory lane. It still is good to see a McCullough back in OP victory lane. So That race was also not live, so I think my point still stands to a degree. Chris McCullough wins tonight at Gateway. We're going to go get your top 3 for some post-race interviews. Stay with us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back after this to talk to your top 3. Welcome back to World Wide Technology Raceway. We're going to talk to the top 3 finishers in tonight's race. We'll start with the man who finishes on the 3rd step of the podium at a fast car all night and brings it home in the 3rd position, and that is Hunter Reynolds in the 26. Hunter, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy.
Sir, how's it going?
Well, not too bad. That was a fun one to watch. A lot of fast cars tonight, and it turned out a late restart kind of determined the race. You come home 3rd. I know you wanted more out of it. You were fast all night. Take me through your night tonight in Gateway.
Man, yeah, I mean, we had a good green flag run earlier, and then we got some cautions there. But, man, I felt like I had a hot rod. You know, it started out, I didn't feel like I had the best car, and then as we went on and on, I felt like I was getting better and better. So I had a bad call there whenever we were pitting with, like, it was 20-something laps to go. I took rights. So did the 12 car, and man, the things felt horrible. I was fighting for my life. I think honestly could have got Trey there at the end. He was burning his stuff up, getting a little squirrely. Almost had him, but yeah, just one wrong call got me in 3rd, and I think we could have got it, man. But good job to Christopher. He ran a good race tonight.
Well, definitely a fun one to watch. Obviously, you make a start tonight. Obviously, Cody makes a start tonight as well. I asked him earlier, what the adjustment was like, but I want to get your perspective as well. Coming in and racing against guys that you guys don't race against very often, and it's a bit different style is what he told me. So kind of give me your perspective. Coming in, you're racing against the regulars. What was it like to kind of take on those guys on track?
Yeah, there's some good drivers in here. These guys are fast, and you got to show up if you want to win one of these things and have a hot rod. But most of them are respectful, good drivers, and there's a good bunch of people in here. It was definitely new learning them. I'm familiarizing myself with this car too. This car is a handful, but it was a good time. I'm enjoying it.
Well, it was really fun to watch as well tonight. A 3rd place finish for you here at Gateway. So before we let you go and enjoy it a little bit, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the league admins for helping out. You've been in the booth, Dawson, doing a good job. Shout out to my dad for hanging out with me a while. That was a long race, but thanks everybody watching. We appreciate y'all.
And a lot of fun for us to watch as well. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hunter Reynolds in the 26th, the 3rd place finisher tonight, and will lead us to the man who finished 2nd, and the man who's had the best 2 weeks in this series, and that is Trey Galgan. And let me tell you, last season he missed a few races, had a few races not go his way, or he would have been in the championship fight, and he's made a statement this season. That's not going to happen again. He's very much going to be in the championship fight, so we'll get to him next. The man who finished 2nd tonight, Trey Galgan in the 49. Trey, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, 2 races, 2 podiums, a win and a 2nd place tonight. At times had race-winning speed, but in the end, obviously, you come up 1 spot short, but still, bigger picture, another huge race for you tonight. Take me through your night tonight here at Gateway.
It was pretty much back and forth through the field. I had a mistake there in the middle of the race and hit the 4. We just had a mistake there, and I accidentally spun him out, so apologize for that one. But yeah, it was just back and forth night, and just strategy at the end. Almost caught me off guard. Almost had to go lap down there, and luckily we got the lucky dog and was able to get our lap back. And we're charging through the field there, and Christopher there just had a little bit stronger car there at the end and just pulled away. And I overdrove turn 4 there on the turn 3 and 4 there on the last lap, and almost gave up 2nd. But overall, good points night, and we're going to Atlanta and try to do something there.
Well, that's certainly going to be a fun race to watch, but nonetheless, again, the best 2 weeks of anyone in the series over the first two races here. So, as a driver, I know, I've been in leagues before. Getting a good start, it really sets the tone for the season. What does this do for your mindset as a driver when you have this perfect a start to a season?
Well, I mean, this series is all about points, so you just gotta get these top fives and I mean, wins do matter, but the top fives are key in this series. So having a strong start is big, and Atlanta's going to be tough. Um, Hopefully, we can go out there and win that thing. That'd be the third straight Speedway win in this series. But you just never know how those things work. So, but yeah, just like I said, just these top fives. Let's just keep those rolling and keep it up in the points. Hopefully, be at the end for the championship at the end of the season.
Well, off to a good start, if that is indeed the goal. Well, before we let you go, a second place finish tonight, so I'll let you go and celebrate here in a second. But before we do, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
I always thank G3 Graphics, Admin Box, and then all the great partners that are on this car. And yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to me here for a second. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Trey Galgan, the man in the 49 car, he finishes second. That leads us to the man in victory lane. And for the first time in the Throwback Series, and boy, did he go and earn it here tonight. And that is Chris McCullough in the 0-3. Chris, it's Dawson the booth. You get a copy.
Hey, I got you.
Well, I got to be honest. It is kind of weird, not being in a super speedway format and talking to you, but nonetheless, here we are, and you're the winner tonight at Gateway. And man, you got to take me through this last run. It's like this car picked up a ton of speed. You had speed all night, but that speed at the end, that was dominant speed. Where did that come from on that last run of the race?
Well, I'm just trying to get used to these cars. I haven't really ran these cars, and I was killing my tires all night, so I decided to try a little different line there, and it helped that they were really cooking theirs. So, I just felt like I just kind of lucky there. I was able to hook the bottom real well, and I was able to make the pass on the bottom, which kind of surprised me. That's when I knew I was sitting in a good spot.
Well, absolutely. And look, a good first 2 weeks for you, but tonight was the first non-super speedway, obviously, of the season. And I know that you and Hunter and Cody, obviously, more dedicated super speedway guys most of the week. So I asked Cody and I asked Hunter, but I want to get your perspective as well. What's the game plan? How do you plan to try to adjust to races off of super speedways? Because, it's a mindset change. I know I've done it. So I kind of want to see just how do you game plan to try to learn these tracks, try to learn this car, and to adjust to racing off of a super speedway?
That's the $1 million question. That's going to really make or break my season there. What I really enjoy the most is the challenge of, changing it up and having to use a little bit more driver skill to make things happen. I feel like it's making me a better driver, and I've always been really good at other tracks as well. I don't put the time in that I need to be real competitive, but I like a challenge.
Well, it certainly didn't look like a challenge at the end of tonight's race, but nonetheless, you're in victory lane. So before I let you go, enjoy it and celebrate after this marathon race at Gateway. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I got to thank all my family and friends that tune in and watch. Got to thank you for putting the broadcast on. Glad to be back home with OP. I'm glad to be racing with all these drivers. And I do gotta say, I gotta apologize to all 30 of the people I hit tonight. I'll get better.
Well, nonetheless, it ends in a victory for you tonight. So thanks for talking to me for a second. Congratulations on the win. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dawson. Have a good night.
Chris McCullough, your winner tonight at Gateway. And it's a very odd race, a very two-sided race. On one hand, 2 long green flag runs, really 3 if you count the last run of the race as well. But then, caution-filled middle where strategy kind of got garbled. Guys were like, okay, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. And the race gets into a lull. But, man, at the end of the race, we had some great racing there between McCullough, Galgan, Reynolds, Schrader, and Nagels. That was awesome stuff. And in the end, Chris McCullough is in victory lane tonight for the first time this season in the Throwback Series. Well, that's going to do it for round number 2. Next week, you heard Trey Galgan talking about it. I believe we'll be attending the Atlanta Motor Speedway for race number 3. I'll double check. Yes, we'll be going to the brand new Atlanta Super Speedway format, not the old Atlanta. We're going to the Super Speedway Atlanta next week, and that should be a very fun challenge in these cars that eat tires. You won't want to miss that one. Next Thursday night, right back here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Prior to that, this weekend, the SummerSlam 499 presented by PGR Esports on YouTube. It'll be on PGR Esports. Go subscribe, go bookmark the streams. Saturday afternoon, 1:45 p.m. Eastern, and then Sunday afternoon, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, will be live for coverage of the SummerSlam 499 Saturday prelim day. 5 prelim races, each one after the other, and then the last chance qualifier late Saturday night. And then Sunday afternoon will be the 188-lap, 499-mile feature event, where the winner goes home with $1,000 and a championship belt. You won't want to miss that one. 150 plus now entered as of about an hour ago. You will not want to miss a thing. Come join us on PGR Esports. I'll be on the call for those races as well. In terms of OP, the Premier Series is back on Turn 3 Racing Network on Monday night with KR. And we are back next week at Atlanta on Thursday for the next race of the Throwback Series. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight from Gateway. Chris McCullough is the race winner tonight in St. Louis, and what a race that it ended up being. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for watching. And until then, come out and watch the SummerSlam 499 this weekend.